think everybody's gonna settle down after the.
Somebody move.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone out to this Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 Kershaw County Council meeting. I hope everybody got the opportunity to vote in the special election today. Very important part of our community, nation, and representative republic. So glad to have you here tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started with the agenda, and we have Councilman Tomlinson en route from work. He should be here tonight. We've been called,
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
I have a
Jones.
point of order. My chair is so far down, I feel like Sammy Tucker sitting in it over there. I can't get it to go up. So
That's a good feeling.
Mr. Administrator, could we get the special chair operator to assist Mr. Jones?
Somebody switch my chair. I know they did.
Switch it with Brant. He won't notice.
All right, we'll just have a complaint from Brant later. All right, now that we've got Jimmy's chair situated, we'll have an invocation and prayer from Mr. Tucker. Maybe you could pray for the chair. And then in all seriousness, let's have a pledge of allegiance as well. Mr. Tucker.
Will we stand, please? Let us bow our heads and open our hearts. Lord, Father God Almighty, we come to you as humbly as we know how, thanking you for all the great blessings and all the things that you've given us that we don't deserve, but as being your children, you always take care of us. We ask, Lord, now, Father, that you bless the citizens that have come here in person and the ones that's watching online, the employees and this dice up here, that you give us the wisdom and understanding and the courage to make good decisions that you will be pleasing with. Continue to watch over our men and women that is fighting for our freedoms and liberties overseas. And Lord, Father, we thank you for our democracy and being able to vote and go out and make this world, this county, this state a better place. We ask these things in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tucker.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion on the agenda?
Make a motion, we adopt the agenda.
Okay, and then I would seek, is there a second on that?
I'll second.
We got a second. I would seek a motion to remove items number 9A, 11A, and 15A is no longer necessary or relevant. Is there such a motion to amend?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion to amend. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on the motion to amend? And just for the public's benefit, that is first reading, extending Clean Community Commission term limits. That is 9A. 11A is Clean Community Commission appointments. And then 15A is an executive session matter that's no longer needed. Any discussion?
Yeah, one more time. What says 9A?
Yep, one more time. Item number 9A is
I got it.
the
Clean community?
Clean Community Commission term amendments. You got it, Mr. Jones?
Yes.
The next one is 11A, which is appointments related to the same commission, Clean Community Commission. And then the third one is 15A for removal, executive session, and it's no longer needed for a particular matter. Any discussion on the motion to amend by Mr. Shoemake? Seeing none, we'll move the motion to amend to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. Ms. Hannah, it's unanimous in favor on the amendment. That puts us back on the original motion. Any further discussion on the agenda on the original motion to approve? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous, Ms. Hannah, and the agenda is amended as stated. All right, I've got a few things that I'm going to use chairman's prerogative to move. First up, for budgetary purposes, we have to do this generally each year. In your agenda, items number 10D and 10E are going to be moved up prior to the third reading of the budget, which is item number 9I. Those are related to budgetary matters, and they have to be discussed and potentially voted on before council before the budget can be approved. And then we're also going to move up item number 10F, which I think a majority of the room might be here tonight with interest in. Item number 10F is a second reading related to Project Ballas on economic development. It'll be the first item in the ordinances section, so it'll be right before 9B, new 9B. Okay? And we'll proceed in that way, gentlemen. Next up, we have public comments. Do we have anyone signed up, Mr. DeBose?
There are 9 speakers for public comments.
Okay?
The first speaker is Denise Rawlings. The subject is Bethune Plant.
Okay, and as you're coming up, I'll just let you know, they'll have a clock that'll let you know how much time you have divided amongst the speakers. There's a half an hour for public comments. It's a time for council to hear from the public. It's not a Q&A. We're interested to hear what you have to say. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good evening, council members. My name is Denise Rollins, and I'm here tonight on behalf of my family who live on Timrod Road, James and Sue Gainey, Dale and Pam Gainey, Robbie Rollins, and myself. We are asking you to reject the proposed natural gas plant that's planned less than 2 miles from our homes. Our family has lived in this area for generations. This land is not simply a place on a map. It is our home, our history, and our legacy. I have spent more than 60 years here, and I hope future generations of our family will have the opportunity to enjoy the same clean water, healthy environment, and rural way of life that we have. We are deeply concerned about the potential impacts this facility could have on our groundwater, our air quality, and our local ecosystem. My husband and I depend on a private well for all of our drinking water. We also grow much of our own food, relying on clean soil, clean water, and a healthy environment to sustain us. We currently have an organic elderberry grove that we use to make elderberry syrup for our family and friends. Once groundwater is contaminated, the damage can last for decades and in some cases may never be fully reversed. Even a small risk is too great when the health of families, farms, and future generations is at stake. We should not be asked to bear that burden so close to our homes. This rural community has long been defined by its quiet farmland. A large industrial facility does not fit with the character of the area or the values of the people who live here. We urge you to place the protection of our water, our land, and our community above the interest of this project. Some decisions can be corrected. The loss of clean groundwater and environmental quality cannot. Please protect the families who already live here and preserve this land and community for the generations that will follow. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for coming out tonight. Mr. DeBose.
Next speaker is Pam Gainey.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Gainey.
Good afternoon. I also live on Timrod Road and have lived there for over 45 years. My husband having lived there his whole entire life. And I just have a few questions I would like to present to you as you consider the possibility of building this facility out so closely to our homes. And I also have copies of the questions if you'd be interested. Has a full environmental impact statement or equivalent environmental review been completed? If so, where can residents view the completed report? What alternatives were considered and why was the location so near existing homes selected? What cumulative impacts were evaluated, including air emissions, noise, traffic, and water use? Were impacts to local agriculture and home food production evaluated? What pollutants will be emitted during this construction and the normal operations of this plant? What are the projected annual emissions of nitrogen oxides, particulate matter, carbon monoxide, and greenhouse gases? How will the emissions be monitored and will monitoring data be publicly accessible? What health impact assessment has been conducted for residents who live from 1 to 3 or even 5 miles away from this facility? Have any permits been issued, and which permits are currently open for public comment? What is your emergency response plan in case of fires, explosion, chemical releases, or gas leaks? Has the local fire department reviewed and approved the emergency response plan? What additional training or equipment will local first responders need, and who would pay for it? What are the projected noise levels for nearby homes during the construction and operation? Will noise levels be monitored after the plant begins operating? What recourse do residents have if noise exceeds permitted levels? Has an independent property value impact study been completed? If nearby property values decline because of the project, how will the affected homeowners be compensated? What baseline groundwater testing will be conducted before construction ever begins? Who will pay for independent testing of nearby private wells before, during, and after construction? If this facility is safe enough to be located 1 mile from my family's well, the food we grow, and the homes of our neighbors, what specific evidence can you provide tonight that demonstrates that there is no meaningful risk to our groundwater or our quality of life? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming out
Mr. Chair,
tonight.
can I request that we get a copy of those questions
Yes.
to be turned over?
Sure. Mr. DeBose, who's up next?
Next speaker is Tommy Gainey, Bethune Plant.
You said Mr. Gainey?
Yes, Tommy.
Tommy Gaines.
Be careful, Tommy, you getting older.
Jimmy's got a comfortable chair up here for you.
Hey,
Yes, sir, Mr.
Russell.
Gainey.
Jimmy, hey, Councilman, how y'all doing? My name is Tom McGanney. I live at 3335 Timrod Road.
Sir, if you could pull the mic up so folks can hear you just a little bit better.
I live at 3335 Timrod Road. This facility is probably gonna be built about 1,800 foot behind my house. The noise that it will have from it is gonna be possibly unbearable. They can put all the trees up they want. You still gonna hear it. My property value is gonna drop. There is no doubt about it. It's gonna plummet. We wouldn't be able to sell our house for pennies on the dollar. And the one thing I wanted to ask y'all is how many of y'all would like to step out your backyard with a plant 1,800 feet behind your house? 1,800 feet. That's not very far. And the noise is gonna be terrible. Like I said, I probably would never move anyway. I love where I live. I love my community. But it's gonna be rough. So I hope y'all take into consideration overseeing what the Kershaw County's gonna make and think about the poor people that live on Timrod Road. We've lived there all our lives, and I never thought this would happen. So please take into account the distance it is from our property, because no barrier is going to stop it. It's not going to bring any economic development to Bethune. Maybe 2 years when the construction workers are there. After that, they're gone. None of their people's going to live in our area. They don't want to hear it. So please, when y'all make your decision, you take into consideration the people that's going to be close to this thing. That's where we live. That's where we retired. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out, Mr. Gainey. Mr. DeBose, who's up next?
Lee Reed, the subject is EMS.
Yes, sir, Mr. Reed.
I'm here tonight because of the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget excludes any funding for EMS ambulatory or even QRV coverage stationed in our area, that being Liberty Hill, Beaver Creek, Barron DeKalb, and the Upper Highway 97 corridor. That is troubling because the lack of timely EMS response to our area is not new. County Council has been aware of the issue for some time. EMS management has openly acknowledged the coverage issues in recent meetings. It has publicly confirmed in this room that the average response time to our area does not come close to meeting their standard target response time or to average response times in other zones. As a matter of fact, Liberty Hill ranks dead last in overall average response time as presented by EMS earlier this year, and a full 17.5% longer than the second longest average response time, Barron DeKalb. Residents have repeatedly raised these concerns. Yet despite the documentation and longstanding awareness, the proposed budget once again does not contain funding to address the problem. And what makes this year's preliminary budget particularly troubling is that the county will receive substantial additional revenue as a result of the recent property assessments. Residents are paying more, yet those additional revenues will not result in expanded EMS coverage into Liberty Hill or other rural areas where documented needs exist. The proposed budget does, however, provide funding for a new ambulance and 8 FTEs in Camden. Budgets reflect priorities. Budgets reflect priorities. While every budget involves difficult decisions, the absence of funding for adequate EMS coverage in Liberty Hill and other underserved areas of the county sends a clear message about where this issue ranks among your priorities. Council members, this is not Camden County. This is not Lugoff County. This is Kershaw County, where over 70% of the population does not live in either Camden or Lugoff. Public safety and EMS services are among the most fundamental responsibilities of local government. Adequate EMS coverage is a core public safety service and expectation. Every resident of this county deserves emergency medical services. It's simply a matter of priorities, not a question of whether something can be done. It is a question of whether or not it will be done. I respectfully ask the Kershaw County Council to reconsider its priorities and make local EMS coverage for the Liberty Hill area a priority in this year's budget. The citizens affected by our coverage gaps deserve more than acknowledgement of the problem. They deserve action. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out, Mr. Reed. Mr. DeBose, who's up next?
Next speaker is Joel Hubbard, EMS.
Mr. Hubbard.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Joel Hubbard, as everybody is aware of. I am not only a resident of this area, I'm also a business owner in this area. I own the up-and-coming opening of Dock 97's old place. It's going to be Dock and Dine. So I'm not only worried about the coverage for my personal health and my wife, my daughter and son-in-law also live in this area. And everybody that patronizes my place of business, I have a concern for. If we have an emergency at my place of business, on average, it takes 35 to 40 minutes for response time in Beaver Creek. It's unacceptable. We can do better, guys. We voted for you guys to sit in these chairs. We need a response to show the reason why we put you in the place you're at. We need a response time that is, I mean, anybody in this room besides the ones that live out there, can you actually say that you have seen that in your lives? I know you haven't. I had an emergency last year. It took 39 minutes for them to get to me. Only time I've ever been carried out of my house in an ambulance before. If I'd have had a stroke or a heart attack, probably wouldn't be standing here talking to you. You know, we can do better. We've got funds. We've got people that are willing to donate, including myself. I own Hubbard Heating and Cooling in Lancaster, South Carolina. I am willing to donate the materials and the labor to put HVAC in a structure to house somebody to take care of our area. Okay? That's all I got to say, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Mr. DeBose.
Buster Beckham, Vietnam Vets.
Yes, sir. Mr. Beckham.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the tough job you elected officials have. It's being stewards of the public trust and the public wallet. It's tough. It really is. Having been there before, I understand. I'm the semi-official speaker for the Vietnam veterans. We have over 100 names, plus names of Vietnam veterans in the county. We've also accumulated over 200 names of World War II veterans and a couple dozen Korean veterans that live here. What we're asking for is some type of joint commission between our group and your group, okay, some type of committee where we can study some type of monument or a award, assist, or whatever. Bishopville has a Veterans Museum. East Springs has a display for all the veterans who've been in the wars there. We don't have an answer. We don't have a solution. We're just asking that we can work with you in some capacity so we can come up and have, and have some recognition on a personal level for the people who had served, who served our country. All right? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Beckham, for coming
Thank
out
you,
tonight.
Buster.
Appreciate that. Mr. DeBose, who's up next?
Jim Curley, the subject is Bethune Plant.
Yes, sir, Mr. Curley.
Good evening. My name's Jim Curley. My family and I stay on Timrod Road. We will be a close neighbor to this plant. I teach physics and astronomy at Winthrop University and York Technical College. We moved here about 22 years ago for peace, quiet, and rural living in a small community. And that plan is about to be ruptured by the natural gas-fired power plant if it comes. I'm most concerned about the health issues. That's what I'm going to talk about this evening. But I'd be lying to say if I wasn't worried about environmental issues, the decline in my property value, and the fact that the plan is to purchase 800 acres, but the footprint of the plant is only 100 acres. So what about the other 700 acres? It's not all going to be a buffer forever. In 5 or 10 years, is there going to be a solar panel farm? Is there going to be a data center? Is there going to be more power plant there? Something we don't know. Sort of briefly on health issues, there's a plant going up in Colton County. It's bigger than the plant planned for Bethune, but presumably it has new technology, the cleanest emissions around, and yet the Harvard University School of Public Health issued a report in 2025 saying in part, I quote, emissions modeling revealed that more than 2 million people would be impacted by additional particulate matter exposure from the gas plant. Especially the particulate matter is a harmful form of air pollution, unsafe at any level of exposure. And they go on and talk about the increase in healthcare costs for that community. The EPA in fall of 2025 said this about natural gas-fired power plants. They can have significant effects on the health of members of the close community. Nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, all contribute to respiratory problems and heart disease. So this plant in Bethune, it's going to, in some ways, destroy our way of life, if not take our very lives ourselves or our health. I understand there's financial benefits for the county and the community for a project like this, but when you talk about, even if it's just a minority of the residents that are going to suffer various ways, environmentally, health-wise, it's not a bargain. There's nothing that balances this scale. So I oppose this construction of the plant. I oppose any tax incentives, FELOs offered to facilitate the construction of this plant. And just on that note, I'm wondering how much money the county is going to lose in tax revenue by awarding the FILO, because I couldn't really see that in the reading that was included on the agenda online. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you for coming out, Mr. Curley. Mr. DeBose, who do we have next?
Chris Kriminger, EMS Service.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Kriminger.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for letting me speak this evening. My name is Chris Kriminger. I'm a resident and a business owner on Lake Wateree. We have talked about the lack of emergency services. We are still facing lack of emergency services in the Beaver Creek, Liberty Hill area, which also affects all the way to the county line, the northern end of the county. First, let me emphasize that this is not a criticism of our EMT and firefighters. They do the toughest job in the world, and they are our heroes. I'm aware that this has been a problem for years. This has been a problem for at least 20 to 25 years. I've talked to the older people that have lived in the Beaver Creek area, and they say that there has been no emergency services up there whatsoever. It just seems like the past councils have just kicked it down the road every time the subject has come up. We need y'all, meaning all of you, to stop this kicking it down the road. We need y'all to fund an EMS service to upgrade one of the fire stations, either Barron DeKalb or Beaver Creek. And you've had the offer from Mr. Hubbard to help so that we can have the services that the rest of the county enjoys. We've heard there's no money in the budget. Our tax assessments have just come through. We know there's going to be more money in that budget because y'all are going to, well, I say y'all, but the county is going to be bringing in more money with the higher assessments. I do not understand how, with these assessments and with this money coming in, you cannot allocate funds to cover our area with EMTs and firemen. I know there was a talk of having some kind of truck at either Beaver Creek or Barron DeKalb, but I understood that it was only supposed to be stationed there during the day. Emergencies don't just happen between 8 and 5. Most emergencies happen between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m., the deadest time of night. So we're still going to have a problem getting service. It's up to y'all to find the funding. This is your job. This is what we elected you to be our representatives for. Please find this funding. Keep this funding in the budget for all the coming years because that end of the county is not going to lose people. It's going to gain people. People are moving further out. Please do the right thing before somebody dies because there's no ambulance service or because the ambulance took 45 minutes to get there. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Mr. DeBose, who do we have next?
Joan Holland Deal is the next speaker.
I didn't catch the name. Helen Neal?
Joan Deal.
Joan Neal. Miss Neal, please.
Deal. Sorry.
Deal?
D is, yes. D is
Deal.
DeBose.
Excuse me.
Deal.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Deal.
Kind of underprepared, but I knew if I didn't come that I would probably back out. I've been dealing with this problem for years, and I've had the highway departments to people coming out to observe my land.
Miss Deal, can you
And
put-
You're doing fine if you could just talk into the mic a little bit more.
Pull
There
it
you
till
go.
you close.
they're not
Miss Temple, would you
they're
straighten
not
out for-
taking me seriously, but we've taken up petitions to the farm across the street, your brother. We because the fertilizer was causing flies and all to come in our yard, but I have a runoff pipe under my yard, in my yard, and it's washing away my land. It's terrible. I've already had one tree come out of the ground that was huge, roots and all, hit my house. And then now it's running down and my yard is washing away. I've asked for help and I've said, I had Clemson come out, they're doing an evaluation. They came last week. The county came out 3 or 4 weeks ago and they were supposed to give me, they said, environmental engineers did this, put this pipe in here. We had nothing to do with it. And I said, well, when was this done? He said, oh, way before. Because I said, why would they put a pipe in the middle of somebody's yard? That yard was undeveloped over there. I'm 70. I've been on disability. I've had so many surgeries, but I work for my yard. It's my therapy. But now it's not therapy, it's work. And I have planted trees along the highway. I have planted shrubbery. I have put rocks, slate rocks to river rocks. to stone everything to try to do it. And they said, you have really worked hard to try to stop it by yourself. But now it's getting worse. And even the fertile soil on the left side of my house that was just, I left it natural, it's not even flat now. I went to walk on it today and you sog in the roots on the tree. It's a tree like this. The roots are shining like this. They're shining like this. It's just, and it's running to the neighbor's yard. And they just have ignored me. I've asked them to kind of repave where the driveway comes in. It's never been done. They said they couldn't do it. Even where the mailman comes, there's a dip, and right beside the driveways, I've gone out there and poured bags of cement myself. You look at my Lowe's bill. It'll tell you how much I've worked to do this. I moved off Pebble Lane and let my daughter move up there because I thought, I'll move in the smaller house of my mama's. And I've almost regretted it because it's been so hard. And I just want y'all to please see about this because I'm losing all my worms, all my dirt that I used to take over to the other place. I have blackberries, pears, peaches, I have raspberries, blueberries, and I have lots of roses. I work hard. I have to dig the dirt out from underneath my shed because I've had to pull cement blocks myself because I have to pull it out because I don't want my wood to rot. And it's just, I've tried to work with y'all with them for years and years, and they keep avoiding me. And they come and they look. I even called Jimmy and I said, who you know anybody at the Howard? So I went down there and they just ignore me. But I would
Ms.
really
Deal,
appreciate it.
I usually try to give folks an additional 20 or 30 seconds if they need it to conclude their remarks.
Okay.
I don't want to assume too much.
Okay.
I assume that you've left your contact information along with all the other folks tonight. So
I appreciate it.
staff has
forgot
your
to look at
contact
the clock.
information.
But thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight.
I'm very big on the environment. And I agree. I'm so glad
Yes,
all these
ma'am.
people are speaking.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. She's up Highway 5. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. DeBose, any other comments?
No, sir.
That concludes public comment. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. That brings us to a series of public hearings. We've got 2 public hearings on the agenda for tonight. The first one is item number 6A. This is a public hearing in relation to the issuance of Kershaw County Council authorizing general obligation bonds, $2 million related to acquiring, constructing, equipping, rehabilitating, and improving the county's wastewater infrastructure and other capital projects and matters related thereto. I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing. No vote's going to be required. The public hearing is open. Do we have anyone signed up, Mr. DeBose?
No speakers, Mr. Chair.
No speakers on item number 6A. Anyone present wishing to speak on item number 6A for public hearing? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and move on to item number 6B. This is a public hearing on item number 6B to provide budget appropriations for county purposes in the county of Kershaw for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027. Also setting the millage rate for Kershaw County for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026, and to adopt and implement charges and collections of services, user rates and fees, and for other tax purposes and county appropriation purposes and matters related thereto. We'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Mr. DeBose, do we have anyone signed up for 6B on the budget this year?
No, sir.
No one signed up for the budget. Anybody present wanting to speak on the budget for the public hearing? Seeing none, we'll close item number 6B. No votes required. We'll move on to public presentations placed on the agenda for item number 7A. This is by Councilman Jimmy Jones. Clay Young regarding Book of South Carolina Courthouses. Do we have a motion?
I so move.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion before we have the presentation?
Just like I say, I'm very proud to have Clay here. He's a former county administrator here as well. He's got Bridges, his son, who's now grown up. And Clay has put 10 years into this book on courthouses. he's going to issue us one. I think he put one on your desk for us to have here. But job well done. He just wanted to share that with us about 5 minutes. He knows we're got a lot of important things to do, but it should just be about 5 minutes.
All right, let's move it to a vote on having the public presentation. All in favor who are present and voting? Ms. Hand, that's unanimous for those who are present and voting. Mr. Brazel had to step out for a moment. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jimmy, for all those kind words too, and appreciate. I'd like to thank Kershaw County Council for letting me come tonight too. Sammy,
If you could pull the mic up just a little bit.
Feels a little bit different being on this side, the
Yes, sir.
microphone than being back there for the number of years that I did spend here all the time. But I do appreciate Kershaw County Council. I do want to recognize my son Bridges Young over here. When I was in Kershaw County, Sammy, y'all remember he was probably this tall, so he's a little taller now. And he also lives in Lugoff. So
He knows a great
bought
place
a
to
house.
live.
He lives in Lugoff, so we're excited about that. So hopefully you'll see more of me in the future whenever I come see him too on that too. But yeah, I appreciate y'all letting me come tonight. I'll be brief. I won't get into too much detail on this too, but we did a book. We started about 10 or 15 years ago, writing a book on the courthouses of South Carolina, and the book is basically, as the title says, it's South Carolina's county courthouses. And it's also a book that also has the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court in it too, because that's as we got into doing the courthouses around the state, we found out that the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court were also played a very important role too, how they were constructed and how they became a part of the state of South Carolina. But this book here, like I said, started a number of years ago, probably 10 plus years ago, and we basically did it by county. So not being a historian, but Rita Livingston, who also helped me write the book, is a historian. We did it by county. So we went to every county in South Carolina, and we researched every courthouse ever built by county. So it's as you can tell, it's a coffee table book. It represents we have about 396 pages in the book. It's about 700 I guess pictures or images in the book, so it does give you a wide variety of information in there. It has the picture. Everybody asks, what is the picture of the courthouse on the front of the book? Everybody always asks that question. Of course, this is the Charleston County Courthouse, the one at 4/4 of the law down in downtown Charleston. Charleston County also has a judicial center in North Charleston, but this is the actual courthouse that's located there. I did start my career there in county government. So I started my career actually in the back part of the Charleston County Courthouse. So it does bring back memories. But one of the reasons we chose this courthouse here too was that it's the oldest courthouse in South Carolina. And it also is the site where the former state house used to be at that particular time too. But we also have a bunch of courthouses on the back of the cover of the book too. But we got this book here and we started putting it together into we decided as we plowed through the materials and went to every county taking pictures and getting pictures, I did find out that the only time that you could take a picture of a courthouse was either on a Saturday or a Sunday. You couldn't take them any other time because people were moving around, and you never could get a good picture on that too, and on that part of there too. But one of the things we did find out as we were doing the research on the different courthouses by county, and we did find out that before we did anything, we needed to write a little history about every county because you just didn't want to start out talking about a particular courthouse or in a particular county. Most people wanted to know, how did the county get started? So we put that information in there, and I'm glad we did now, looking back on it, is that now it's turned out to be a history book for the state of South Carolina. It's not only South Carolina's county courthouses, but it's also a history book for the state of South Carolina, dealing with all 46 counties and the Supreme Court of Appeals. Been very lucky. The schools have bought a number of copies throughout South Carolina. The state libraries bought numbers of copies. The USC Law School, the Charleston Law School have all purchased copies. The Supreme Court of Appeals has got that too. But it's been a long process. It's been a process that we finally got it done. As you can see, it's hopefully y'all will take a look at it and read the book and see the importance of the book here too. But I wrote the section on Kershaw County. I'm the one that took the picture of the current courthouse on Kershaw County. I'm the one here also worked with the county for Tommy Cooper to have a court session in the old courthouse, the Robert Mills Courthouse. You're very lucky in Kershaw County to still have a Robert Mills Courthouse. A lot of Robert Mills courthouses were torn down over the years. And so you're very lucky for Kershaw County to still maintain a courthouse, Robert Mills courthouses. But like I said, I could go on and on and on about different aspects of the book, but I hope you will take a copy. And I'm very privileged to come here and present a copy to you. I'm very happy that I can make this copy available to Kershaw County and County Council for their review.
Thank you very much.
Danny, would you hand it to the chair, please?
And I can't promote your sales from up here, but I am personally curious. It's just available online?
Yes, it's available online.
Because a few of us up here have probably been in just about every courthouse that you'll have listed in there. So that's a very unique project that you've done, and I'm glad that you were able to feature Kershaw County.
Yeah,
I don't know if I tell everybody that, Ben.
Yeah, I've left the clerk with some information on the courthouse. It's sccourthouses.com is the website. So if you want to go on the website, you can go sccourthouses.com and you can pull up more information about the information. And I've got some flyers here too. Bridget's got some, and I'm gonna leave some right here in case anybody's interested.
Thank you for that information. Councilman, any discussion, any comments? Mr. Jones?
Just want to say thank you, Clay. Appreciate you.
I just
Thank you,
wanted,
Mr. Jones.
I just want our chairman to clarify why he was in all those courthouses. Was it for work?
I was defending Russell Brazel in numerous legal matters, but due to attorney-client privilege, I'm not able to disclose exact nature of those matters.
Yeah, I will say, well, I'll end with this too, is like I said, South Carolina has got a very diversified group of courthouses around South Carolina, and they are very interesting to go if you've got some time to look at this book and look at some of the courthouses, because they would be very interesting to go and see some of the old courthouses, because we're
Mr.
very
Chairman.
blessed to have some brand new courthouses along with some old historical courthouses.
If I may.
Mr.
very
Jones,
quickly,
please.
I see Stephen Smokes out there. Of course, Clay worked for Stephen as well, too. One thing that Clay said to me, and Clay meant a lot. I said, "What do you miss most about Kershaw County?" He said, "Jimmy Jones." Thank you. Appreciate it.
He was very close to my neighbor.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I wanted to point out, Mr. Young, was the Kershaw County part of this book. Myself and Mr. Jones talked about this before the meeting tonight, and it has a picture of Mr. Albert Kirkland in here.
Sure does.
And for us old timers in law enforcement, we can remember him being the court crier. And if
You're right.
any of you's ever heard a court crier, he would call the session into order. You could always hear him out front going, "Hear ye, hear ye." And he would shout it to
The last
top of
one. He was the last
He
one.
was the last one here in Kershaw County, and he would shout it to the top of his lungs. And I can still remember hearing him, and it's very special if you've ever heard it, and it's very unique. But I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because he was the last one. Mr. Jones was right. He was the last crier that they had in the state.
Mr. Jim?
Yes, sir, Mr. Tucker.
Thank you. Mr. Clay Young, I can't say thank you enough. It was great working with you when you were here. We know that two things about you: you're a financial wizard and you're historian buff. So those are the things that you carry dear and near to you. This book on the courthouses, we need you to write one more on how do you finance a new courthouse. I do not want to repeat Lancaster County's way of getting one. I don't think the people will be proud of us, but we do need to be able to fund and look at the future, and they're so expensive to do now, and keep the historical value of what the original courthouse is. But thank you for all you have done for Kershaw County and for the other 45 counties on your tour here, gathering all this information. And, the door's always open here. This is home. Even though your son will still be living here, you always got an invite to come up here and visit the administration, council, whatever you need. But thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Mr. Shoemake?
Yeah, I just want to echo everyone's thanks. The book is amazing. We all got a chance to look at it, and I actually bought 2 copies. So it's pretty cool. They'll be. It's really amazing too, because it's not, as you pointed out, not just the courthouse information, but the history stuff for 46 counties. I can't imagine the undertaking. So thank you. I mean, we don't get enough of that South Carolina specific history. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemake. Council members, any other comments or discussion?
Clay, I'd like to say thanks to you. We talked about this previously. I think it's real interesting. And I wanted to answer Sammy's question. I don't know how to finance it, but I know when to finance it. It will be right after we fully fund EMS.
No problem.
Thank you for coming out, Mr.
Thank you.
Young.
I want to thank y'all for letting me come.
Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
No further votes required. That concludes public presentations. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, next up on the agenda is item number 8A, approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Mr. Cato has a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We
I
have a
yield.
second from Mr. Tucker. Any discussion on the minutes?
Thank you, Ms. Hannah.
Yes, thank you, staff, for putting that together. Thank you very much. Seeing no discussion, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor on the minutes, raise your hand. It is,
Abstaining.
that's right. Mr. Brazel was absent, so he's abstaining. Otherwise, it's unanimous in favor for those who are present and voting. Minutes are approved. All right, on to ordinances. So the first one that we're going to have is item number 9F. This is a second reading. First reading occurred on May 12, 2026. This is a second reading for an ordinance authorizing a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes agreement between Kershaw County, South Carolina, a company identified as Project Ballast, and related to one or more sponsor affiliates, and special SS. This also includes, I'm just getting past the summaries that I usually use, SSRC credits. It's special source revenue credits for the benefit of the project in the county. Do we have a motion on second reading?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Schumake has a motion. Do we have a second on second reading?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Tucker. Mr. Schumake, you have the floor.
I'll yield. No, from wanting explanation from the county attorney. Otherwise, I yield.
So this FILO has a anticipated investment of 900 million, a minimum investment of
Mr.
400
Bose, if you could grab the mic
Oh,
just
yeah,
so people hear a little
sorry.
better.
This has a approximate intended investment of 900 million. Believe the floor investment for FILO qualification here is the super FILO floor of 400 million. Anticipates 15 new full-time jobs. Of course, locks a millage rate and 4% assessment ratio. The fees based on ultimate payment for megawatt hours. Further details would defer to economic development and Mr. Burgess.
Could you also explain the SSRC?
Correct. So the special source revenue credit will allow basically a credit against investments in the site facility, property acquisition, property development, and essentially allows a industry to back out and get credit for those land development costs that went into the project. And it's typically assigned, again, you assign it as a percentage of the, what would have been the normalized tax amount.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Schumake. You still have the floor?
No, I just, I know there's been some talk of this tonight. There's been some talk on social media. I think, I've personally met with the folks doing this and done some of my research. I'm going to be supportive of this tonight. This would be, as I understand it, the largest economic development project Kershaw County has ever done. And, I think it's important to note that the use that is being done here is an allowed use. This is not a use that is not allowed or prohibited at that site. What we're voting here solely is in a tax package, which are very common for these sizes of business. Again, this does not authorize the business, nor does it prohibit it. It is a permitted use. And so again, I think this, given the economic revenue, my own research about the risk and benefits of these types of projects, I'm for this for Kershaw County.
Mr. Schumake, thank you. Mr. Tucker, you have the second.
Yes, I would just like to ask, and I know we have copies, I think Ms. Hannah may have them, or they're floating around on these questions that was given to us. Can we get those? And then I would like to sit down either with staff.
You mean in public presentation tonight?
Right, in public comments.
Public comment, public comment tonight?
Yeah,
Okay.
and get with staff and Mr. Burgess, and just, I've heard a lot about the Project Ballast, but those were some legitimate questions that I would like to know the answer to before third reading, please. So that's the only question or comment I have.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Council members, any other comments or discussion? Any questions?
I do.
Mr. Cato.
I'd like to ask either the county attorney or Mr. Burgess, I've got a question that I want, well, not a question, I want something explained to the people here. I want the explanation of what is the reason for the first first reading of title only and the disclosure, law that we have. Because a lot of people don't understand that, and I'd like for that to be explained.
So, two things. First readings in title only can occur. They're allowed in state law, often utilized by counties to advance matters. Second part of the question regarding project code names, Mr. Burgess could probably be way further in the weeds than me, but it's generally to protect the privacy of the industry that's going to come in. And I say privacy in that a lot of industries might be first to a certain market or might face other competitors trying to locate if they catch wind of it. Further, a business's expansion plans or location plans can again also impact competitors, but also land and market speculation around the project. So again, it is a privacy mechanism routinely used for FILO SSRC projects. And again, it is to more or less protect the business interest in the early stages of the project sponsor. Public hearing notices and will often reveal, again, the exact industry name. And typically the industry name is placed in the third reading version of any economic incentive.
Thank you.
And if you could share how, just real quick, how many days in advance did the public hearing notices go out?
15 days in advance, due to the unique timing of the Chronicle Independent's publication schedule and y'all's meeting schedule. The notices, in fact, end up being, it's a 15-day notice, but because of the publication, it ends up being basically a 21-day notice, 20-day notice.
No, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. I got several things that I want to say tonight in reference to this project. I know that it is a huge economic impact to Kershaw County, and I recognize that. It could bring a lot of good stuff, make it help fund EMS. But, and I want to say this before I get to my butt. I have talked numerous times with Mr. Casey, and I appreciate your time that you've spent with me. And he's been very attentive. If someone wanted to talk to him, I know he's called them, he's talked with them. And I appreciate that more than he knows. And he'll probably have more phone calls and more questions, a lot more questions. I grew up in this area. For many years, I lived in that community. Family, friends, and loved ones that I care for deeply live in that area. I can't sit here and discredit this company because the company's done everything that so far that I've asked them to do, and I've got a few more things. If this goes forward tonight, I've got more things I want them to do because there's a lot of things that I feel like maybe some of the property owners, especially adjacent to this, needs to have their answers if it goes forward. But I cannot, with a clear heart and a clear conscience, vote for this tonight. I cannot turn my back on the people that I was raised around in the community that I was raised around. When I ran for this office, my motto was to be the voice of the people. I may not agree with everything that was said tonight, but I'm going to be the voice for the people up there. And tonight, I'm sorry, but I cannot support this tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Cato. Mr. Jones?
Well, I want to start by, there's no wrong or right here. It's just what your priorities are, how you feel. I'm very proud of you, Mr. Cato. I really am. That was well said. And I'm going to tell you, Tommy and Susan and the rest of you, Miss Gainey. You know, I've known a lot of y'all's families for many years, and I have a lot of friends over there. But I always said when I ran for this office 20 years ago that I would always put people before money. And let me tell you something. This is a lot of money. I mean, it's a big operation, and you know, of course, I listened to it, and it sounds really good, and everybody's done their due diligence in their job. But when you talk about how much 900 what?
Million.
900 million and 15 jobs, something worries me there a little bit, but that's just me. That's just me. But I tell you what, these are good people up here. I know they're doing what they think is right. But I have to side with Mr. Cato tonight. There's no way I could look you folks in the eye and vote for something like this that might affect your livelihood or where you live. So having said that, I've been that way for 20 years. I'm not going to change now. I got 6 months left. But I would hope that we could have a little bit more clarification and understanding as to what's going on. And, you know, I might could support it, but let me tell you this. I always said this, and Stephen Smoke, he's probably gone, and he knows how I am. I always said if property owners don't want it, protest against it, I'm not going to support it because it goes back to putting the people over the money. We'll be okay with or without this, okay? But anyway, that's just my position, and I mean no ill intent to my colleagues up here, okay? I really don't. They're doing what they think is right. I'm doing what I think is right, but I'm not going to change my mind. That's just the way I feel. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other council members who haven't? Any other council members who have not spoken yet wish to speak?
I'd like to,
Brazel.
I'd like to say one thing. Do I see Mr. Rollins? It's good to see you, sir. It's been a long time. An old friend. It's good to see you tonight. Bethune, I'm standing with you tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brazel.
Mr.
Thomason.
Chairman, just wanted to clarify, by having second reading of this FILO, there's no agreement going forward that a power plant is going to come, right? This is just an agreement that we have put in place, setting some parameters. It could eventually not come, is that correct?
I would defer to legal counsel and administrator, but as I understand it, yes, hypothetically, anything is possible.
Yep, so we're not, by passing this second reading, there's no set in stone.
No, by second reading, it's just saying on second
Yep.
reading prior to third reading, it is moved on to the next step, so it could be voted on and researched further.
One last question. So if say we were to go third reading and a couple years down the road, we are coming and facing having a gas powered plant coming in Bethune, we would then have the ability to look at setbacks and measures in place, decommissioning, to make sure that all the environmental aspects will be taken care of. Is that correct?
So, yeah, I believe this use type is allowed within the ZLDR, and it would prescribe the development standards that would apply to any gas plant that is placed
Yeah.
into service or developed, yes. And to the earlier question, these economic incentive agreements certainly make the projects feasible from an economic standpoint, but there's no guarantee. It often happens, but there's no guarantee that a project will proceed. Point in fact, this county's approved some solar projects that the economics and the relationship with Santee Cooper just didn't work out, and solar projects did not proceed that were approved through FILOs and whatnot. So
One of them potentially was on this property or one right near there that
believe
didn't
so.
pan out, right? That we did an agreement similar to this. I just wanted to kind of have that stated for the record and for everybody's knowledge, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomason. So I never beat around the bush. I'll go ahead and say for second reading tonight, I can support it. And I want to explain my rationale. I'm open to hearing from everyone else that would like to contact me. My cell phone's available publicly online, or I'll share it with you tonight, whoever's interested. I have received a few calls. I've heard, I got a couple emails, and I've gone through the data and researched as best as I can, also relying on staff and other professionals about some of the objections that were raised. First off, I even heard reference tonight, a Colleton County location, which I think would be in the town of Canadas, or I'm not sure if I'm not pronouncing that right. That's a little bit apples and oranges, because that project would be roughly, or I think a little over 2,300 megawatts. The one that we're considering tonight would be approximately 500 megawatts. That project would be approximately 5 times larger than the one that we're talking about here. And in some ways, that's governed by the utilities that are accessible potentially at the site. For those folks that live in the area, there is a large gas line that goes through your area historically, and there's a large electric transfer lines that go through your area historically. And it is zoned appropriately for this type of use. So somebody can come in and do this. It's appropriate for the land as the zoning code goes. So I respect property rights, and there are particular property rights involved in this piece of property. The next thing I would mention is the Kennedy's project, the one that was 2,300. That's the only one I've heard referenced right now as a possible issue for 2,300 megawatts. It was being proposed on a brownfield site, which is, as I understand it, is a designated hazardous waste location. It was previously a coal fire plant that did not have significant EPA restrictions, didn't have DES or DHEC prior to DES breathing down their throat to make sure they did the right thing. And as I understand it, disturbance on that site would even cause potential issues, maybe health-wise or environmentally. And so we are not looking at a project of that size or on a designated brownfield hazardous waste site. This is a location that is generally timber, and the property owner has apparently desired to sell the property, which, of course, I'm not involved with, and no one up here is involved with. The property owner felt like it's the right time in their lives to do that. I've done the research to determine roughly there are 22 natural gas power plants in South Carolina. We've got 46 counties. There's roughly 22 of them. And some of them are rolling on and rolling off. And of those, I wasn't able to identify any reportable issues on significant health concerns or any clusters related to local natural gas sites. All of them appear to be less than half a mile, over 50% of them appear to be less than half a mile from the closest primary residence. And so I'm still researching these issues. I'm trying to understand fully what might be in the best interest of Kershaw County overall. But those who have my email and have already emailed, please email me again if I've missed anything or there's other things we need to consider prior to third reading. Or again, please feel free to call my cell phone. Always the best way to reach me. Any other comments or questions from council members? Seeing none, we'll move it to a vote. On second reading, again, this is 9F. All in favor, raise your hand. That is Shoemake, Tucker, Connell, and Tomlinson in favor. All opposed on 9F, raise your hand. That is Brazel, Cato, and Jones opposed. It passes second reading, Ms. Hannah, for the record. All right, thank you, gentlemen. That moves us to the next item on the agenda, which is item number 9B. Another economic development project. This is an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a special source revenue credit agreement. Again, that's that SSRC we talked about under the prior one, between Kershaw County and a company known as Project Gemstone with respect to certain economic development property in the county. The property will receive under this agreement a special source revenue credit agreement and benefit and other matters related to thereto. First reading, as reflected in the agenda, was on June 9, 2026. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, we have a motion in favor. Mr. Cato, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Shoemake has a second. Mr. Cato, you have the floor.
I'll turn it over to our county attorney and let him explain the details of this motion.
So this is special source revenue credit of 50% during the credit term for the project. So essentially 50% reduction of ad valorem at a 6% assessment ratio. Sets millage. Minimum investment is $100 million within 10 years, 150 FTEs within 10 years for minimum job creation. There's a 10-year investment period, 30-year credit term. And the nature of the project is commercial resort development. More granular details, I believe project representatives are here for, again, any more granular details, but those are the high points of the SSRC agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Cato. Anything further?
Nothing further.
Mr.
Mr.
Schumake, a second?
Can
Yes,
he,
sir.
can he repeat those numbers right quick on just the highlights?
Mr. DeBose, could you hit the numbers and then the SSRC reduction for Mr. Tucker, please?
Correct. So the summary agreement page has minimum investment of 100 million within 10 years, 150 full-time jobs within 10 years, sets a 6% assessment, 0.3413 millage. There is a annual escalator on that. You've got a 50% SSRC credit during a credit term of 30 years. And again, those job creation investment periods are 10 years.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
1 second. Mr. Schumake, you had the second. Do you yield?
Yes, sure.
Mr. Jones?
I think if Mr. Smoke's representing the company, can he come and just give us some clarification?
Okay, Mr. Smoke? Yes, sir.
I've got Mr. Jones, and if I may ask our attorney a question quickly, just to clarify
Absolutely.
something. The 50% SSRC credits, in addition to the fixed millage rate, would that be the equivalent of a 3% rate, or how does that affect the ad valorem tax?
So it really, the tax is impacted by the investments received. Are you asking total dollar amounts? I mean.
No. Just it's set, the FILO is set at 6%, is that correct?
Correct.
With an additional 50% in SSRC credits, is that
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, I think a gross way of looking at it is, yes, it's essentially a 50% reduction in the taxes owed.
Is that for how many years?
That is for the 30-year term. It's got a 30-year credit term, 10-year investment term.
Is it a renewable term, or at year 31, does it change?
Yeah, these investment terms are just set, yes. It's a 30-year credit term set. Year 31, no more SSRC.
So when it be set, the millage rate would be the 2027 millage rate? Is that correct?
I believe so.
Versus 2026?
Well,
I just wanted to clarify that.
the millage rate for the next 7, 8 is not known. The 6, 7, I believe, was utilized in this agreement. So present millage rate.
So 2026 millage rate is utilized. Well, good. It's a buzzer beater, Mr. Smoke.
I'll just note historically, Mr. Jones, we'll get back to you because you have the floor. I'll just note historically, the highest SSRC in Kershaw County ever issued was 70%. And so this is significantly below that. Mr. Jones?
But, I'd like to say thank you for allowing Mr. Smoke to come and speak. Having worked 8 years with him here, I do have a trust in him. I've learned a lot from him over the years, and I thank you for being here. And I seriously am going to look at your advice is going to be a big part of my decision tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
I mean, it may not be 100%, but I mean, it's going to be.
Mr. Smoke gave me permission to share, but we'll go ahead and have him share. Could you let the public know, beyond Mr. DeBose's kind of entertainment description, what is the project going to be?
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Council. It's always an honor to be in front of you, and that's no different this evening. So on behalf of my client, I am here to reveal that Project Gemstone is Candy Root Lodge Golf. Okay, I've been here in front of you before, so I don't think that's a big secret. But on a really high level, I want to go over just very briefly a few of the important aspects of the project. There will be 4 golf courses built once it's fully built out, along with an additional par 3 course. There will be a wellness element, walking trails, at least 1 restaurant, eventually accommodations. But most importantly, my client is really anticipating just being a part of the community here in Kershaw County. And, we look forward to working with y'all. It's going to be a project that will take a number of years to build. As you heard the details, it's a 10-year build out. Those job numbers we feel very confident about, 150 jobs. The investment, $100 million. It's a significant investment. And happy to answer any other questions that you guys might have about the project. I have Gary Morris is here as well with Hainsworth Sinclair Boyd, and he's played a role in this as well. So Just thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Smoke. Council members, Mr. Tucker.
Yes, Mr. Smoke, how are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Hope you're well.
You've sat here and approved some of these deals on these ordinance and saw where the timetables has actually increased where, you in year 10 or 12 of the 30 years and we need renegotiate it because things are going so well before it ever gets to the 30-year or the 20-year mark. Is that a fair statement?
From what I recall, yes, they all varied.
Right.
There were certainly some like that from what I
Yeah.
recall.
And this has that potential too, as it grows. We don't know with the crystal ball that we don't have what it tells, but I feel that it's gonna blossom and have a great positive effect on the area up there. And so for these reasons, I will be supporting it tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Any other comments, questions? Mr. Schumake?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming. And obviously, anytime I see a former councilman up here, I always want to say thanks for your service because I know it's a substantial amount and the work you've done. You've been here as part of the Smart Growth Group, so you understand sort of the pains we've had with growth. And I think this sort of applies across the board to this project and the last project, which is, and I've said this before, we've done a lot to limit some of this residential explosion we've seen. But a county grows or it dies. It's about how it grows. If there's not a single person in here that wouldn't want to look out of their backyard and see 100 acres of farmland as their view every day. We would all want that. But unless you own that 100 acres, your ability to demand that it stay farmland is only so constricted or is quite constricted. And, in both of these examples, we're talking about people that had farmland that tried to create something for themselves that also will benefit the county. And if we say no to residential growth, and if we say no to industrial growth, and we say no to the other types of growth, then we're going to die. And we have to move forward. And you cannot tell someone who owns 100 acres that you can not sell your land. You have to sit on it. Your family doesn't get to make money off of it. So and that's a balance. And I think we've created that balance in the last vote. And I'm extremely supportive of this because by opening the door to industry and projects, you get things that create huge economic development and things that I think people can really get behind, like a golf course. But you have to be attractive to businesses. And so I appreciate you being here for the business because I think it's critical. I think it's a great use of this land, and I think that people are going to benefit greatly from it and creating jobs. So again, thank you. I'm obviously extremely supportive of this project, as I was with the last one. So
Thank you, Mr. Schumake. Mr. Cato.
Mr. Smoke, I just want to clarify, and again, thank you. We've spent many hours on the phone talking and discussing this project, but I want to clarify it tonight, and I want you to say it again. This involves absolutely zero residential development.
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. Cato. Any other questions? Mr. Jones?
I'd just say, Mr. Smoke, you just genuinely earned my vote tonight. I'm going to vote in favor because I had some questions, but that was important what you just said too about zero residential growth and some other things. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman.
They need to pay you double.
You can't get the owner to move now?
What's that?
You can't get the owner to move to Kershaw County?
Well, we're working on that. We're working on that.
Thank you, Mr. Smoke. I think
Thank you.
that's all the discussion and questions we have. Seeing no further discussion or questions, we'll move it to a vote. This is 9B on second reading. All in favor, raise your hand on Gemstone. Ms. Hannah is unanimous in favor, and it passes on second reading. That's 9B. This brings us to item number 9C on the agenda. It's an ordinance to amend the agreement for the development of a joint industrial park between Kershaw County and Fairfield County. It increases the boundaries of the park by adding certain real property associated with economic development and the project known as Gemstone. This is generally a state law requirement for adding and making projects eligible for FELOs or SSRCs. First reading on June 9, 2026. Do we have a motion on second reading on Gemstone?
Make a motion. We
Mr.
pass.
Tucker has the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Mr. Cato. Any further discussion on second reading 9C? Seeing none, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor on 9C, raise your hand. Ms. Hannah, it is unanimous and passes on 9C. Second reading. Item number 9D is a second reading related to a lease of real property that the county has at 632 West DeKalb Street, and it's in relation to the Department of Natural Resources. First reading on June 9th, 26. Do we have a motion on second reading?
I'll make that motion, Chairman.
Mr. Cato has a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Tucker. Any discussion? This is a bit of a housekeeping thing. Thank you so much. Seeing no discussion, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor On 9D, raise your hand. It is unanimous in favor, Ms. Hannah. 9D passes.
I would like to briefly say thank you, Mr. DeBose, for taking care of these leases.
Next up is another lease, item number 9E, second reading. It's a lease of property at 632 West DeKalb Street, owned by Kershaw County, related to the Forestry Commission. First reading was also on June 9th. Do we have a motion on second reading?
I'll make that motion,
Mr.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Cato has the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Tucker has a second. Any discussion on 9E, second reading?
Mr. Chair, this is the same thing, just clearing up some housekeeping on the lease of a property.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Seeing no further discussion or questions and nothing from staff, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor on 9E, raise your hand. Ms. Hannah is unanimous and passes second reading. That's 9E. We've already addressed item number 9F, so we can move to the next item. This is a series of third readings that we have up next, so this will be the third and final reading. First one is 9G. This is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances in Kershaw County, amending Article 4 related to building codes and the Board of Adjustments and Appeals so that it conforms more naturally with the administrative appeals procedure set forth in the IBC or International Building Code. We had first and second reading as indicated in the agenda. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Schumake has the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Tucker has a second. Any discussion on third reading for 9G?
It's just a clean up ordinance like the other ones so that our stuff comports with state law. That's it.
Any further discussion from council members? And we have nothing from staff, so we'll move it to a vote on third reading 9G. All in favor, raise your hand. It is unanimous on 9G, third reading, and it passes fully. Ms. Hannah. Item number 9H is the next one up. Third reading related to an ordinance by Kershaw County Council authorizing the issuance of GO bonds or general obligation bonds. It's $2 million. This is the same matter that we had the public hearing on earlier related to acquiring, constructing, and equipping, rehabilitating, and improving the county's wastewater infrastructure and other capital projects. We have first and second reading already occurring as indicated in the agenda. Do we have a motion on third reading, 9H?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Schumake has a motion. Is there a second?
I will second it.
Mr. Tucker has a second. Any discussion, questions, or comments on third reading? Seeing none, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor on third reading for 9H, raise your hand. That is Schumake, Tucker, Connell, Cato, and Tomlinson in favor. All opposed on 9H. That is Brazel and Jones opposed. It passes on third reading. Ms. Hannah, for the record. And then we have two other items I mentioned we're going to move up prior to third reading of the budget. This is so that they can be considered appropriately in the budget. So before we get to 9I, we will have item numbers 10D and 10E in that order. So first, we'll take the Finance Committee update and related budget amendments.
Did you say D and then E?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. First, item number 10D. Do we have a motion to get the Finance Committee update from Mr. Tucker?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we get an update.
We got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Cato has a second. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, my colleagues. Just wanted to brief you on some things that the Finance Committee met last Thursday morning, approximately about 9:30, the three of us, and we did have a request that we heard on the probate judge request. So that motion is in your packet. It is proposed as revenue neutral. It is recommended by the Finance Committee that we approve that. It's like a holding place. If something falls through, we've had conversation, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all have already talked to the probate judge as well, Ms. Debbie Branham. We have to get a MOU discussed, written, and signed. We'll be working on that immediately after we get this approved in the budget, if we so do tonight. And I'm gonna ask, the Finance Committee is gonna ask for your support on that. And then staff will dive into a MOU that has to come back before us to be approved. So it'll outline a lot of the details on where the money's spent, what the duties are, when you're gonna be paid, those type things. So with that, that's pretty much the update on it. We had another, trying to think. We talked about several other things, in the finance committee that is not brought before your favor, but we're gonna be looking at those for the 27-28 year. The finance committee will be meeting after the 4th of July on a regular basis, just to get a head start on some cleanup stuff that we gotta do financially and reports, and then give staff time to close out so we can get those numbers to report back to you. And at this time, I'm just gonna ask my colleagues, is there anything they'd like to say? Councilman Thomason?
I'm all good, Mr. Tucker.
Okay. Councilman Schumann?
Yeah, just on the probate judge thing, just to be very clear, what this does is all the vote that we're doing tonight, the amendment just creates an account. It does not fund the account. The funding is going to come from Judge Branham working with the state to develop a contract. So these funds will come in, be dispersed through this contract. And so this will be a revenue addition, a revenue stimulus to the county. It will be very little to no cost up front beyond just a tiny amount of personnel time to do the initial contract. So this is a way to treat some mental health folks throughout the state, allow Judge Branham to do that while also increasing some income into the probate court system. So it's something that Judge Branham's on board with, her staff's on board with, and it's a revenue positive for the county.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jones.
Well, yeah, I'm really appreciative, Mr. Shoemaker, of your involvement in this, and Mr. Tucker, yours as well, too, because I was supporting her in the very beginning on the first proposal I think she brought to you. But you recognize some things that needed to be addressed. I appreciate that. I think you did a good job, and I certainly support this memorandum of understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other comments or discussion? Well, and I'll just state for the record, so the Finance Committee has before us 3 appropriate potential motions when we get to item number I, and they will have to be made in the form of a motion. First one is the probate judge's Finance Committee presented recommendation, and then there is a properly submitted ATAX amendment, which the administrator is about to take us through in item number 9E. And then there's a grants amendment, which is properly submitted related to a proviso in the budget. Beyond that, any further discussion, comments, or questions? Okay, seeing none.
Explain the
Thanks, Mr.
proviso
Chairman.
in the budget.
That's going to be the next part.
Yeah, the next budget's up next. And just for clarification, belt and suspenders, Mr. DeBose, we were just receiving a Finance Committee update, no votes required.
Correct.
All right.
These finance reports and recommendations would be more properly motions within item 9I, the budget itself.
Correct. Thank you.
Correct.
All right. No votes required. That concludes item number 9D. Next up, we have item number, that was 10D. Item number 10E, ATAX recommendations placed on the agenda by the administrator, Mr. Templer. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we hear from the ATAX.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
All right. All in favor on this presentation? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of council. We have Casey Brazel here from the ATAX Commission to give the presentation and make her case. So if I can get her.
Make her case.
That's right.
Make her-
You don't have to do it in all 46 counties that were just mentioned in that book. Ms. Brazel, yes, ma'am.
Hello, council and administration and everybody here. My name's Casey Brazel. I'm here on behalf of the ATAX committee, and I'm here to present the F-27 budget for you guys, and I do believe that it's in your packet. We didn't have as much as last year, but we've allotted as best as we could to everybody, and I think that you'll be pleased with the outcome that we've given to the grants. We also wanted to mention that last year and the previous years, you had to submit grants on paper, but this year there'll also be a website, and so you'll be able to go to the website and submit grants there as well. And one last thing that I would like to mention is that our new chair that we elected is Monica Frazier. So if you have any questions, She would probably know more than I would, but I will be glad to look into anything that you need. I've really taken this seriously, and I've researched and written down lots of things. So if you have any questions, you know where to find me. And do y'all have any questions now?
Any
I wanna go
questions or
first.
comments from council? No flirting, Mr. Brazel?
Right.
Mr. Jones,
I
go
want to go
ahead.
first. I have some comments. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the work you do, and you presented that so well. I will say this, I didn't know that I thought you were here just to be staring at Russell all night, but you did a good job on that presentation.
She got better things to do, Councilman Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Council
I can
members, any
handle
other?
it.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Mr. Tucker.
I just want to say to Ms. Brazel, thank you for your willingness to serve. That is huge in our county, and people like you, which makes the county so much better when you're able to take your family time and your professional time and give back to the citizens of Kershaw County. And I saw your recommendations last week, and I'm wholeheartedly in support.
Yes.
I thought you've been fair to everybody, but y'all had an incredible amount of requests that you couldn't fund if you wanted to.
Yes, we were kind of surprised at some of the numbers we saw, but I really appreciate that, and I love to learn, and I'm just learning more and more about the county every day. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Any other
And
comments?
ladies.
Just thank you again. That's awesome work. I know it was a tough year for ATAX, so thanks.
Yeah.
Mr. Brazel? No.
He recused
And I've
himself.
confirmed that this is not a conflict of interest for you. You can vote on this one.
But it doesn't mean I need to speak.
Right.
No, you don't have to.
You better thank your wife.
This will
Good
solve
job.
things at home, I'm sure.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Casey. We
you don't
appreciate your
say
service
anything.
very much.
Thank you.
All right, no votes required, but it should be presented as a motion when we get to item number I. Concludes that matter. And now we will move to item number 9I. This is third reading of the budget. Do we have a motion on third reading of the budget? First reading and second reading occurred as indicated in the agenda.
Motion. Go ahead.
I would like to make the motion, I'm trying to find it, but I got it written here.
It's just adopt the budget.
Okay, I would like to adopt the 26-27 budget for Kershaw County.
All right, let's get to a second. Think we have
I'll
a motion.
second.
We have a second. And then I'm open to entertaining as a slate. I want to make sure of one thing, Mr. DeBose. We're not required to have Lugoff Fire present at all. They're okay. We just adopt theirs. I just want to make sure we adopt the presentation that happens under 10A.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, I'm open to entertaining the three amendments that could be appropriately before the body as a slate, if the body is open to that.
You can do the first one, I'll do the tax.
Okay. Well, you want to do them as a slate, all three at once?
If there's a motion to amend, yeah, we could take them as a slate if there's no objection.
With good explanation as to what you're talking about.
We can break them down.
You want to do it?
I would like first to address the probate judge that we approve $120,000 for revenue neutral funding to the probate judge office for mental health, meaning that we'll be able to approve the 120 or thereabouts, whatever comes in, because this is new to us, and then the expense should be that or less of what we take in. That is my motion.
A second.
You do them as a slate.
Okay.
Are you
and my
doing it nominations or?
No, I've got one more that I'm
You-
gonna put onto this motion.
All right, so that's the first part of the
That's the
motion.
first part of
And
the
then
motion.
under your finance presentation, we
ATAX.
would technically have ATAX and the grants amendment.
So, let's do the ATAX. If you have that sheet in front of you. Well, ask that we approve the $175,563 for the, ATAX recommendations from our committee. You've heard from one of our ATAX committee members. Their request was, 244,200, but, we only had 75,563. And then my last one is, find it, somebody help me out. The grants, let's see, we have that written. Yeah, so let me, I'll jump it up. Let me make the motion too for, grants and those with new personnel requests and, consider approve as a, presentation with the budget adoption to available budget match dollars. All other grants will require individual council approval prior to award acceptance. So that is my motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tucker. Again, to summarize, Mr. Jones, and for any other council members interested, the motion would amend expenditures and revenue neutral related to the probate court, the A-tax amendment that we just had presented by Ms. Brazel, and then the grants amendment. And so that is the slate on the budget amendment. It is on the floor as an amendment, and so we will discuss and then vote.
Second.
Okay, you got a second? We have a second. Any discussion on the amendment before we get back to the original motion on the budget? I can support all of these. I'll just say that frankly, there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to them. One of them is revenue neutral. The other one approves a amount of expenditures in A-tax that specifically are designated for tourism-related purposes, and so we have to spend those monies in that way. And then the grants amendment frees us up to take advantage of grant opportunities. So we're applying for funds, and we want to be able to receive those funds from granting entities, whoever they might be, and this budget proviso allows us to do that for the relevant fiscal year.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
if I just made a share, I just want to make sure that everyone watching as well and who's out in the audience, that these were all written out with the income and the expense into our budget prior to the budget being published. So we followed our rules and policies, ordinance that we set.
Okay, any other discussion or questions? Mr. Jones?
Yeah, I do have some concerns. Just get some clarification. I know I won't be here probably, but is there money in this budget, Mr. Templer, to where like if someone like Ms. Joan, who came up and spoke to us about her property and the damage, if we deemed it was something that we were responsible for, you could find the money to make sure that was fixed?
So, Mr. Jones, these would be more of like federal grants and grant matches, but
Yes,
with,
sir.
with that particular issue,
I wouldn't.
if we were liable for something or if we had to fix something, then
Okay.
there would be funds available.
And I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. I wasn't referring to the grants. I was
Okay.
referring to the budget overall,
Oh, understood.
as far as what's there. What about the EMS for Liberty Hill?
You want me to address that, Mr.
Please,
Jones?
somebody, yeah.
So the EMS, through our growth and our reassessment, has received a little over $1 million, and Mr. Templer can talk more in detail if he likes, but I've got some information. We're gonna stand up another ambulance this year. We're doing, trying to finish up Battleship Road transition. We hired on the other 4 FTEs. So there's a lot of good things EMS actually got out of the budget from the natural growth and.
What about Liberty Hill?
Well, right now we got a QRV up there, so if we stand up another ambulance, that's just gonna give the county-wide more services in whatever areas are needed. And these recommendations came from staff. Now, I'm happy to let Mr. Mr. Templer explain any further in detail, or his staff member if he likes, but.
Can I just do a quick point of order? It feels like, I'm not, I think this discussion is important, but right now we're discussing the amendment, so it seems more
are.
clear to get the amendments voted on. Just a thought.
I agree. Excuse me.
Okay, so you yield?
Yeah.
Okay, I can only rule on points of order that are a controverted issue. It sounds like there's been a yield.
Perfect.
All right. Any other discussion on the budget amendment that has been submitted by Mr. Tucker? Again, that's on the amendment, and then we'll have to get back to the original motion to approve.
Right.
Any other discussion, comments, questions?
Then I get my chance to.
You can talk generally about the budget after we get through the amendment. Yes, sir.
Exactly, before we vote on it, yes.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, we'll vote on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, raise your hand. This is the Tucker amendment. That is everyone, so it's unanimous, Ms. Hannah. The amendment passes, and now we're back on to the budget as amended. Amended. Any further discussion on the budget as amended?
Okay.
Any council member wishing to speak that has not spoken yet?
I would like to.
Mr. Brazel, go ahead.
So being that I represent Liberty Hill and had requested EMS services in that area, we had discussed bearing the cab. I was highly disappointed to learn that after especially after realizing the amount of revenue increase that we're having this year, that there was no allocation. I'll say thank you to Chairman Connell for a wonderful meeting yesterday with administration, and I'll say thank you to Danny as well as our EMS leaders. They did provide some light on the subject, but I can't enunciate that as well as they could. Is Will Glover here tonight?
Yes, sir. He's standing by.
I'm happy to go through it.
I would like to, for the record, hear from Mr. Glover as to how we are going to address these issues in phases moving forward as we discussed them yesterday, and as I found it to be a very positive conversation. And I would like to hear from him how that is going to be a positive influence for those areas, because we heard loud and clear together at a town hall, and we also heard loud and clear a couple of months ago from the community, and tonight, yet again, we heard loud and clear from that community. So thank you, Mr. Glover, for being here. I appreciate the job that you do, and I really think you do Kershaw County a great job. So with that being said, I'm going to yield to you, sir.
Chairman, members of county council, what I'll do is kind of go back to how this all started, FY '26, and just kind of go forward of what we discussed yesterday. FY '26 EMS initiated a phased staffing approach to scale our fleet from 5 ambulances and 2 QRVs to an optimal resource allotment of 8 ambulances and 3 QRVs. The expansion directly targeted 3 regions of the county. The greater Camden area, addressing high call volume. We were looking at the Highway 5 corridor and Lugoff, enhancing high growth and coverage over in that area. And then also the northern Camden region, including Beaver Creek, Barron DeKalb, and Westville. FY '26, council was able to pass as a body EMS billing rate increases, which were able to stand up that first 4 FTEs towards our 6 ambulance. Because of the economic uncertainties, because of the government shutdown and different things, we waited to hire those employees to make sure our revenue projections were going to meet actuals. So moving into FY '27, we were able to complete the 4 more FTEs to stand up to 6 ambulance moving into next year's budget to help out the call volume in the greater Camden area. That call volume pulls other units into that area a lot, so we have to address that high call volume. Also in FY '27, we were looking at our Battleship Road infrastructure, which actually helps out the Highway 5 corridor issue. So then we start looking more at that northern Camden issue. Also in FY '27, we've allocated $300,000 for land purchase or renovations to support future expansions, such as northern Camden.
Say that one more time.
There's a capital allotment for future station allocations.
And that was, you referred to that as North Camden?
Yeah.
But that's Barron DeKalb, to be clear.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be reported in the papers, and I want for the people who live in those areas to understand that we are working towards the goal of having a station at Barron DeKalb.
Yeah, that's the target right now. Northern Camden, Barron DeKalb would be the location right now, yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to clarify for anyone who would confuse Northern Camden with Barron DeKalb. That is the area in which we have a facility.
I also want to highlight, while working towards full station coverage in certain areas, we've initiated a roaming QRV program to where one of the 2 QRVs tries to roam to remote areas. We've logged 300 hours of that time so far in rural zones. That is including Beaver Creek, Barron DeKalb, Westville, Buffalo, Mount Pisgah. So we're trying to get our QRVs, when they're not tied up on calls or other duties, we're trying to push them further out into some of the remote areas of the county. We will continue to try to do that and enhance that program as we move forward. Also, with the direction of admin and council, we put together a package to where every year we're going to ask for 4 more FTEs. So the goal would be every year, if we could fund 4 more FTEs, we would stand up a QRV one year and then an ambulance the next. A QRV one year and then an ambulance the next to try to reach that optimal 8 ambulance, 3 QRV goals. If we got to 8 ambulances, 1 more would go to the West Wateree area, Highway 5 corridor, and then that one would be the northern Camden area, Barron DeKalb as it sits right now.
So to be clear, those would serve both sides of the lake in those far-reaching areas.
Yes, yep. We're fixing the critical core of our call volume right now. If we were to push ambulances further out into the county without addressing high call volume areas, those ambulances further out in the remote areas would get sucked into the town all the time, reducing the effectiveness. So, this phased approach, we can do it with staffing, timelines, as far as getting new stations or renovating stations or everything else, getting ambulances in, hiring staff. The phased approach will get us there.
If you had the money today for those 8 new staff members, along with what you've already been allocated, what would be the timeline for getting something implemented?
It would be well into probably 27 to do anything. I mean, as far as getting staff in, training them, hiring medics, or doing a EMT recruit class like we're starting to look at doing, ordering ambulances, getting them in, station renovations, the timeline expands.
Is there any part of that we can start now without the allocations, knowing that we're going to have the allocations in the future?
That's what that capital projects line item would be for, as far as looking at the renovations or additional station locations. And then also EMS has already started running in-house EMT classes. Then we took our EMTs and made them advance, a certain amount. Starting in September, we're actually doing an advanced to paramedic program. So we're training in-house already. We're trying to build our own in-house instead of trying to steal from other people. So the training process has already started, and some of the programs that we would be looking at if we did do a big hire, that those processes are started with our training office and division in EMS.
So do you think we're losing months or years by waiting to fund it, or do you think that we're going to still be able to streamline this process and getting people to that Liberty Hill area in a reasonable amount of time? Because that's very important to me, as it is to you as well.
Me too.
I've got to bring up a point of order. So to the extent we're getting outside of fiscal year 27, ending June 30, 27 expenditures or recommendations or budget items, we have to keep it, or at least the council's only given me permission to allow us all to talk about third reading of the budget, 2026 to June 30, 2027. And so we can state the recommendations within that window for spending. To the extent we go outside of that, we can put it on for another council meeting or talk about it in council briefings for a public presentation or some other form.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Jones.
I would like to ask for a point of order that I think this is all in the realm of where we're going with EMS, and it's about, because we were talking about funding it this time, but I don't think it's there. So, I don't see really how it's outside the border. Of course, you're the chair, and I respect your decision.
Well, y'all can appeal the rule, point of order ruling.
That's okay. I've heard a lot of positive, and I feel like that we're going to be moving in that direction regardless. So thank you.
Any other
No issues.
comments or
Thank you.
questions from Mr. Glover, council members?
Mr. Glover, I just want to thank you for your hard work as well. I know we've talked about this many years back and trying to work towards this, and Russell's kind of picked up the ball and ran with it. And thank you, Russell, for what you're doing. But I just want to thank you. I know that y'all work hard, and I know that y'all want to do what's best for the communities. And I too think that we're headed in a positive direction. So I just want to thank you for that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Glover. No other comments or questions for you?
It takes money. It takes money for it.
Sir?
I said, and it takes money to fund it as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Got it.
All right, so we're back on the original motion. Any other discussion, comments, or questions on the original motion to approve the budget? It's 9-I on third reading.
If I may.
Mr. Jones.
I want to make a comment about the budget, something that bothered me. But I sat down with Mr. Templer and we got it straightened out. One, the pecan orchard money is still in the budget.
Yes, sir. It's held over.
Gotcha. And you guys, almost Councilman-elect Jonathan, gonna make sure that gets taken care of, aren't we? Thank you so much. I was, when I read about the recycling centers closing on Sundays, I said, oh my goodness, we're losing a full day there. But you informed me that you're also going to be open up a full day on Saturday, where we've been open up on a half day on Saturday, correct?
Correct, for the
Then
landfill.
And it would be a big savings.
Correct, there are savings. And
Yeah, but, and that made me feel better, when you and I sat down and talked about that. So actually, I mean, that really helped me in the direction I was going as far as my support.
Yes, sir.
You follow me? I appreciate it. So what the new hours will be Saturday?
Mr. Jones, I'll just mention
I
that's
knew you were
item,
going to do that.
well, it's item number 10C
I
on the
know,
agenda.
I know. I mean, I can't argue with it because I know.
Which
you're
we
right.
will have a motion in a second on, I anticipate soon.
But anyway, thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
I have no argument. You're right.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I didn't see anything else from, Mr. Tucker? Had your hand up?
No.
Okay. Staff, anything else on the budget before we move to a vote?
No, sir. I appreciate everybody's hard work.
Okay.
Can I ask one more thing?
Mr. Jones?
This is pertaining to the budget. Now, this is a balanced budget with no current tax increase, correct?
No millage increase. no
Now,
fee
however,
increase.
I want to make sure there's clarification so everybody will know this. With the reassessment, and of course, because they're 5 years, there will be a millage increase because of the reassessment, which is mandated by the state to do. But this council has not increased the millage one bit as far as the operations of this budget and the parts of this budget, correct?
Correct. The mill rate
apologize.
is the same from last year to this year.
Okay.
This budget.
Because it seems to be just a misunderstanding. I think with some of the citizens, well, I thought you were raising taxes, but I got a tax increase. Well, the reassessment is what's causing an increase in revenue.
Correct. And it's natural growth every year.
Gotcha. All right, well, and Mr. Chairman, thank you for not calling a point of order on me, and thank you, Mr. Templer.
That was very relevant to the budget. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Appreciate that.
Mr. Tucker?
I just want to tell staff how much we appreciate them. From Ms. Brown on down, Mr. Templer, your two right-hand and left-hand folks, Ms. Branham and, well, she's a reader now, and Mr. Blanchard. I want to thank my two colleagues that sit on finance with me. I know how much time you've taken out of your schedules and stuff. It's been a year of a lot of meetings up here, and we're not complaining, but we just want you to know that we do put in the time and the effort to make sure that we get best information from staff to move this budget along. And I know some of my colleagues have a hang up on a few things in the budget, but I'm going to ask all of you that sit on this dais that if you can in your heart, please support the budget tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Any comments or discussion on the original motion to approve the agenda as amended?
One last.
Mr. Brazel?
I'm very encouraged by what I heard from Mr. Glover. And Mr. Tucker, your words that you just spoke were heard, and I would like for everyone to hear mine. Please help us follow through with the EMS plan.
How about my words?
And Will Glover has earned that tonight from me.
Well, he's earned it before. He's done some great, he and staff done some great presentations to the finance committee. And all of the finance committee recommendations came straight from staff and his leadership and Mr. Templer's and all of the folks. So,
Any other comments or discussion? I'll just summarize before we call it for a vote. Overall, there was about a $3 million plus revenue increase based on the reassessment. A lot of that went to various issues in the county due to inflation or otherwise, or competitive salaries or otherwise, or cost of living increased or otherwise. But EMS received the largest single department increase of roughly $1.1 million, I think was what was reported tonight. And the priorities, as a plan was mentioned, the priorities are being followed. They want to take care of the Battleship Road Station being increased or renovated and improved. The capital money's there for that. And then the Highway 5 corridor, which will be addressed some. And then getting to funding for the Barron DeKalb Station, which again is not for this discussion. It's in a future budget cycle. And some of the comments in public comment just made me reflect on this stuff just takes time, unfortunately. Whenever we had the fire study, it's been 8 years. We could still be doing a fully volunteer fire service in Kershaw County with very few professional people at the administrative level and then all volunteers. Imagine doing that and then having the type of population growth and additional calls that we've had without professional fire service. And that's brought us to this point where we're kind of keeping up. It's the same for EMS, and we're following a plan as recommended by staff. They could have used that money and spent it on something else, but their top priority was full-time employees. And then any council member up here could have made a motion to spend it in some different way if they wanted to. But this is the budget that we have before us. And so if there's no further comments, discussions, or questions, we'll move it to a vote on the budget as amended. This is 9-I on third reading. All in favor, raise your hand on the budget. That is Shoemake, Tucker, Brazel, Connell. It's unanimous, Ms. Hannah. All in favor, raise their hands. Take my breath away.
That's the first time in over 10 years. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
All right, Ms. Hannah, it passes. It's unanimous. The budget is approved. I know staff can breathe easy, and thanks for your help on that. Next up, Chief Spitzer, you've been sitting patiently. Let's get a motion in a second for a presentation and acceptance from Lugoff Fire. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Lugoff Fire or have his presentation. I'm sorry.
Okay, then we have a second.
Second.
All right. It's on the table, and so we'll bring you up, Chief, for your presentation, and then we'll have a motion on accepting and approving the budget.
Where's he at?
Right here, sitting there, behind the mayor.
He is too big to be hidden out there.
Shrinking.
Hey,
Good evening. Thank y'all for having me up. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Templer, for getting me in here, and especially Miss Hannah. She takes very good care of us, and she does a fantastic job with keeping up with my jibber jabber when I send her a lot of emails. So I'm here and willing to take any questions. I think you should have received your resolution and budget proposal, I think May 26th. That sound about right, Ms. Hannah? It should have been before you at that time. Not asking for an increase. We got our increase last year. We did not ask for a tax increase for roughly 12, 13 years, something like that. So we used our millage last year and our rollback millage, which helped us tremendously. We're no different than anybody else. We saw a difference in the reassessment, kind of took advantage of it. And I hate to say it in that nature, but it did help us in some areas, and it has allowed us, if you remember, last year I spoke about possibly laying off some part-time firefighters through the county, and of course my board of commissioners, which we have a fantastic board of commissioners, and they have strong support for us, and also through county council. We were able to retain those part-time firefighters and hire a few more. We are in the process now of doing a hiring stage to fill some gaps that we have on a particular shift. It's not due to turnover. It's due to we're just growing and we're just trying to keep up. By raising the millage for us last year, that allowed us to cautiously approach being able to hire that additional firefighter. Plans are in the future to be able to hire a few more firemen and staff our Station 2 area out on Whitehead Road. That's a really hot area for us. That area is just, it's kind of growing, and we're seeing a lot of different issues out there. And, you know, when they have to leave from our headquarters, it's quite a ride. So that is our initial goal. I will tell you that we do have in our plans in the future, and I have spoke to Director Glover and both EMS Supervisor and Coordinator Jim Edge. We are fully intending at Lugoff Fire Department to put a medic unit in our facility within the next 2 years. That could affect how the response is given. We have met a couple times with our county resources. Initially, our plan was to be able to put that medic unit on by 2027. That's not going to be obtainable. We want to do what's best for our community and kind of ease the burden a little bit on the Kershaw County EMS side of things. But talking with Director Glover and Mr. Edge, Jim Edge, we also know that that would possibly put a deficit into the Kershaw County's EMS revenue. So we're going to kind of work through those things and figure that out. But we do intend on putting that unit in. We have many EMTs in our organizations. We have paramedics. We just finished a class, which we do teach in-house as well. We have 9 EMTs coming out of just our organization. They just finished, actually, so they'll be testing for National Registry. I kind of got off the budget a little bit, but I do want that to kind of take into consideration of, I don't know what the exact plans are of the corridor on Highway 5, but that could help alleviate those issues. But again, that's something that I feel like I have to work through with Director Glover and Jim Edge. So again, the millage we did not increase our millage. We've got a balanced budget. We're comfortable this year. And, we put a lot of effort into being extremely transparent and being extremely fiscally responsible for everything that we do forward in our fire department and with our citizens. Other than that, I think you should have that in front of you. I don't want to sit up here and take up any of your time by breaking down every line item by line item by line item. I know you have a lot on your plate. So
Yes, sir. It's been submitted. Everybody's got it in the packet.
Everybody's got it.
Well, I got something I need to
Just to
say.
clarify, I understood the motion as having the presentation and accepting the budget as presented. And then we had a second on that, correct?
So-
Yes, Ms.
Okay.
Cato,
So
second.
we can't say anything?
Huh? Again, yes, we're into discussion period now, Mr. Jones. You can go ahead if
That's
you
why he
want to.
wasn't voting to bring him up. Okay.
Listen, Chief, I want to tell you something. This is going to be my last budget with you. And I'm going to tell you, going back to Dennis Ray, 4 or 5 years, 6 years before you were the chief, I can remember when it was just us. We'd sit down and the fire department had to fight for their support. Y'all had to fight. And I'm very proud to say that I was with you every time you did. And now you got a council that's with you. Almost, I would think unanimously. Everybody up here sees it. They care for you. You got second to none when it comes to professionalism. And I'm very proud of my fire department. I just want to let you know that. And I'm also very excited about the fact of what you're talking about when you talk about, expanding that might help our ambulance service. When you talk about that, because, we used to do that years ago when Chief Hammond was at Camden. He had the same thing.
Yes, with the rescue squad.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. But thank you so much for all you do. And I mean, and it's been a joy and a pleasure to work with you. You've been a great source of information and help to me throughout the last 20 years or 15, however long you were there. And I appreciate that. I just wanted you to know that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. And you know that we have a very particularly great relationship. There's many years that we would not have accomplished remotely where we are now without you. You have been a dear, dear friend to me for many, many years, way before I ever became chief. And we have a great past, and I appreciate your support. You have stood up here and fought for me on many occasions. And that's not to say that council was not along with you, but you have been a voice for us. And we have certainly taken advantage of that. And we want you to understand how much you mean to us. And we really appreciate you, especially when you live in our district and you have taken care of us for many, many years.
Appreciate you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other discussion? Mr. Tucker?
Yes, sir. I just have one slight request there, Chief Spitzer. And we talked about this as well. Can you pencil us in next year on the Finance Committee before we get to third reading? To sit down just with us before, so we can tie you into the budget. We missed a few folks. We didn't send you out an invite or call you. So that's on us, but I just want to give you a heads up. We'll want you to bless us with your presence next year before we get to this point in the third reading, if you can put us in your schedule.
Yeah, usually I try to get this budget into you in the first week of June. It was unfortunate that I was not able to do that this year. I had a lot of things going on. I had a couple surgeries and some other things, and I have a very, very competent assistant chief that could do the same. But there was a few things that we wanted to make sure we were final on, make sure we were sitting in the right place. Looking at the calculated millage is a guess, and Dennis Arledge does such a great job. I'm telling you, he is such an asset to this county. He is absolutely unbelievable. He is a great friend, a great mentor, and somebody I can call on whenever I need him. And I do, again, I'm usually done with our budget by April, the beginning of May, but everything's just a guesstimate. You know, I'm guesstimating what our financials are going to be. Our health insurance, I don't get final numbers until August.
We feel your pain.
Workman's comp, August. Everything is in August, and you know we're just kind of basically doing a guesstimate and doing the best we can. So I'm making a note here to get with y'all.
Okay.
During that time frame.
And that way we can have some dialogue. So if you foresee some things coming up, we can be brainstorming with you and trying to figure things out, and then we can go from there. But no problem, no issues.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Any other comments or discussion?
We're gonna have to get Dennis Arledge more money. If he hears that.
I'd like to.
Mr. Brazel.
Dennis
You'll
watching.
get his retirement papers.
I'd like to say thank you, Chief. You guys do a great job in Lugoff. Helped us out on many occasions and many other businesses and homes. So we appreciate your service. We value what you do for our community, and we appreciate you. Appreciate you all very much.
I appreciate that, and our folks, my coworkers, do as well.
Absolutely. We thank all of them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brazel. Any other comments or discussion? Thanks again, Chief. Appreciate you very much. And again, I understood the motion is to have the presentation and accept the budget as presented. We had a second. Let's just re-record the votes for Ms. Hannah. And Mr. Jones, I'm not sure if I saw you raise your hand initially. Everybody in favor of accepting the budget as presented, raise your hand. And it's unanimous in favor. Thank you, Ms. Hannah. So it is adopted and included.
All right, thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
You and your staff, man.
All right, that moves us on to item number 10B, Kershaw County Human Resources Policies placed on the agenda by the administrator. Mr. Templer, any background before we have or do we need a motion? Is it just informational?
It's just more informational. It won't be long at all. I just wanted to point out that there's a link in your packet that is going to point to a pretty healthy sized document, but it's just for your consumption over the next few meetings or the several weeks. If any of y'all have any questions on it, please let me know. If you want a paper copy of it, I'd be glad to create one, but it's pretty thick, probably thicker than most of our agenda packets. So, but it is addressing and bringing us up to date on some of the more current HR policies, so it's going to be rather important in some areas. But just wanted to put that on your radar, and
Can you and I set a meeting up so I can,
absolutely.
if any of the rest want to join with me,
Sure,
up to three?
That's a great point. So if anyone wants to sit down and kind of get a 10,000-foot view or just whatever, please let us know. We'll have HR staff standing by as well as myself.
All right, well, the summary took care of it. Didn't even motion in a second. We good. Thank you very much, Mr. Templer. And no vote required on 10B. 10C, Solid Waste Convenience Centers, standardized hours. Do we have a motion to hear from the administrator on this?
Make a motion that we have the administrator present us the new solid waste convenience center hours, please.
All right, we have a second.
I'll second.
We got a second. Are you going to anticipate any vote, or is this for background information?
It's more for background and just the initiative and to let y'all know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what we expect to get out of it.
Will we be looking at a vote potentially in some future meeting, or is it a policy change, or is it just a unilateral policy change you can make?
Yes, sir. This is under the administrator's
Okay,
ability.
thank
with
you.
homeroom.
So, Mr. Chair, so it's already in the budget, what he's talking about?
I think we're about to get the update now.
Yes, sir. So I have Chris Thomas from Solid Waste. He's our solid waste director to come in and give us a short presentation. And this is just what we intend to do to clean up the hours of our recycle centers, namely on Sundays and Mondays. And so I'll let Chris do his presentation, and then we'll continue to discuss.
Yes, sir.
Okay, again, my name is Chris Thomas. I'm the Director of the Solid Waste Department for Kershaw County. Been here since about May of 2025, so a little over a year. I would first like to thank County Council and County Administration for the opportunity to discuss the improvements we want to make in the Solid Waste Department. Before I get started, because I am new to everybody, just a brief background on myself. I was born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina.
I'm sorry.
I am a graduate of the University of South Carolina in finance. For the past 30 years, I've been in the interstate transportation industry. But before coming to Kershaw County, I was the Assistant Director of Solid Waste for Richland County. But enough about me. I believe the goal of government leadership is to accomplish three objectives. One, provide great service for the residents. Two, provide the service in the most cost-efficient manner. And three, provide that service in a moral fashion. And I believe the improvements that we're going to discuss would accomplish all three of those objectives.
Any comments or you?
I think he's
Okay,
going
just
to
started. I'm
slideshow.
sorry, I didn't see it pop up. Now it's right in my face.
Great
All
presentation.
right, go ahead.
All right. First of all, as we get into the nuts and bolts of kind of the improvements we want to make, just wanted to show everybody that the net result of the improvements we want to make is going to lead to about $167,000 of yearly savings. What's great about this savings is that most savings programs or most savings initiatives, there usually has to be a big initial investment and you got to get a return on your savings. We can accomplish these savings starting day one, just with doing things in a more logistical manner, just in the way we do business. First of all, currently we have 10 convenience centers with 6 different hours of operation. So we want to firstly standardize the hours of operation for all centers, change it to Tuesday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed on Sunday and Monday. This is really the foundation of the improvements that we want to make to permanently reduce expenses. Working 5 days a week with 2 consecutive days off will produce the following savings. The manning of sites, we won't need as many employees to man the sites. That's about a $70,000 savings. Vehicle fuel savings, by being closed 2 consecutive days, that allows us 1 off day, which would be Sunday. So we wouldn't have to run any equipment, no trucks. And we would save about $35,000 in fuel over a year. Along with that, maintenance runs about 15 cents per mile. We save about $7,000. And then the driver savings would be about $8,000. So that comes to about $120,000 of the savings. Again, some positives. Studies show that we have a healthier, safer workforce with 2 continuous rest days as opposed to 1 that we have now. I think everybody can attest to that. I think most people in this room work a 5-2 schedule, so I think everybody can kind of attest to that. We'll also have a greater pool of applicants due to a better work-life balance, and hopefully get some people that want to come in and start a career with solid waste. All right, the biggest point of the having the 2 days off would be the Sunday closure. We would get less outside county waste. Based on the amount of cars we get outside of the county, we estimate about a 15% reduction in out-of-county waste. Just for Elgin, that would be about $12,000 a year. For the other centers, about $6,000. That comes to a total savings of about $18,000. We pay, at 15%, we pay $35 a ton to dispose of the waste at Northeast Landfill, and not counting the cost of transportation. We're looking at about $18,000. Again, the 15%, we feel that's we wanted to stay within a conservative number. We really feel like that's probably would be more like 25 to 30%, but we stayed at 15%. As you see, 4 of our neighboring counties are closed on Sunday.
Yep.
Richland, Lancaster, Chesterfield, and Darlington. Those residents come to Kershaw County on Sundays. And in the effort of full disclosure, I have to say that probably most of the Richland County waste we're getting is probably my fault, because when I was with Richland County,
You sent them over here.
I spearheaded to change the schedule and for them to be off on Sunday. So that's probably some of my fault, but I'm here to fall on the sword and correct my mistakes. So go to this. The next improvement, large loads been routed to the landfill. We're currently, we pay about twice as much to transport the waste if we have to transport it from the center to the landfill. Now, this does not include household garbage. What we're talking about is just construction, demolition, and yard waste. And really, this is just a clarification of the current convenience center requirements. If you go on the website, it says now that large loads are supposed to go to the landfill. But the problem is that we never specified what's considered a large load and what's not. So it's hard to enforce it when you don't have the clarification of what's a large load. So to spell it out, no motor vehicles larger than 3/4 ton pickup trucks, and no trailers longer than 8 feet and or more than 1 axle. That covers, when you get larger than that, you're pretty much looking at commercial businesses. And that's really what we're trying to avoid. The convenience centers were never set up for commercial business. It's supposed to be for the residents and their waste, but we get a lot of commercial businesses with these big $20,000 trailers saying it's personal business. So again, we figured that'll be about 15% less loads transported. Again, that number's conservative. I think it's probably higher than that, but just at 15% less loads, we save $26,000 in fuel, about $5,000 in vehicle maintenance, which comes to about $31,000. Again, the last improvement would be to extend landfill hours to Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, since we're going to be restricting the large loads from the centers, we need to have more hours at the landfill to accommodate for the heavier traffic. Now, extending those landfill hours will raise payroll about $3,500 for the year, but we felt like it was worth it given the other savings that we would have. So again, in conclusion, we're looking at about $166,000 in savings. We really think it's a win-win for the county, for the residents, and for the employees. And I hope you all will look favorably upon our recommendations.
Thank you for the presentation. Mr. Templer, any other summary before we have discussion from council members?
Just one point is that currently we have half our sites closed on Sunday. We have 10 sites in total. Wednesday, 7 of them are closed, and Thursday, 1 of them are closed. This just consolidates and makes it more streamlined, with Sunday, Monday being the reset days. That's it.
All right, thank you. Discussion from council members, questions,
Yes.
comments? Mr. Jones?
Yes. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
I've heard some good things about you, and glad to have you with us. This almost seems too good to be true to some degree, $166,000 in savings. But I have to say that the administrator is exactly right when he said, nobody really knows what the hours are at the moment of the recycling centers. I don't. I mean, I've been here 47 years. Working wise, I've been here 47. Not
I'll say you older than that.
But I think I like this. I was against it when I first heard about it, but I think I like this. In Columbia, Richland County, where you come from, how was the response when you first closed 2 days, consecutive?
I'll tell you, the most contentious part was the trailer requirement.
Yes, that was my next question.
A lot of people have bigger trailers, but to be fair and consistent, you just have to stick with the letter of what you.
And that concerns me, the single wheel trailer. That concerns me, but you're the expert, and
it's going to be a rough couple months, but we're
okay. So you're gonna start this January 1? This will be a rough couple of months.
Looking about July 18th to kind of give
I'm
give
just
enough
teasing.
time. to
You'll
get
be
some
gone,
information.
that's why.
That's exactly what I mean. No, I think you got a great plan. It sounds good. And, you know, change is inevitable. And it sounds like you got a plan for it. You got a plan for the resistance as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
'Cause you've been there.
Yeah, I've done it, so
right.
I'm familiar with how.
Because you know we're going to get the phone calls. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. Any other comments, discussion, Mr. Tucker?
Yes, sir. Mr. Thomas, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Danny. This is going to create some conversations, which is fine. And I appreciate, too, that you guys took in consideration with the Finance Committee when we were presented this presentation, our concerns on what was probably going to be a hard pill to swallow. So thank you for that. And I'm sitting here because when I was talking to a few of my friends and relatives about the single axle trailers, that was a sticking point, as Mr. Jones said. I've got a car trailer and I want to do a little bit of bush work, but it's more than a pickup load, but it's not a car trailer load. And it's got two axles because it carries, 8,000, 5,000, 6,000 pounds on it. I'm not going to be able to use the only trailer because I don't have a single axle utility trailer. And that's some of the, I
You
guess.
won't get too mad at me about having to come out to the landfill with you.
Yeah, it's going to start with my darn brother. I'm just going to tell you just like it is.
Yeah.
And he don't live too far. He lives in Lugoff off of Wildwood. He's not too far from that recycle center.
He'll tell you what he thinks.
But you know what? Yes, he will. That's right. If my colleague to my right, Councilman Shoemake, can bite the bullet with his dad,
Which I have.
Yes, right. On closing the recycle centers on Sunday, I can handle my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council members, any other discussion,
If I'm-
comments, questions? Mr. Brazel?
If I may, really nice presentation, and thank you. I do hate to be the one, but I'm going to be the one tonight to state that I don't think this is a good idea. While you're addressing parts of the county that maybe are close to Richland County, you have rural areas that are being punished, it's very unequal. If, say you had a place at Lake Watery and you were going to stay for the weekend, whether or not you are a resident or not, you pay taxes on that house if it's a second residence, you may be paying $6,000 to $10,000 a year for your place at the lake. But when you come to enjoy your house Thursday through Sunday and then you go home, there's nowhere to take the trash off. I think that this is going to be a major issue in Kershaw County, and not just for Lake Watery, but other areas. I would hope that you would reconsider being open on Sunday. I think it'll tell on itself. Okay? I mean, I don't think you'll need me to, and you've been through this, so you know what's coming is, everybody got their cell phone with them? Y'all look forward to start ringing.
That's a good point, Councilman.
I think people are going to end up littering. I think people are going to be upset, and don't be surprised if there's bags of garbage sitting at a closed gate. I mean, I'm not condoning that. I'm not encouraging that. But frankly, I'm giving you my raw thoughts. And if we see this kind of pushback, I'd really like to see us work together as to that solution. So, thank you for everything. So professional. Thank you for trying to save us money. I just think that with a working class people on top of people enjoying a vacation home, Sunday's been trash day all my life.
You got me worried.
And I just think it's going to be a really tough habit to break for 70,000 people that live in Kershaw County and people that visit Lake Watery. I mean, there on the Lugoff side of the lake, there is a recycling center just as you turn off of Lake Road. And again, it's just going to be a major problem. So with that being said, respectfully, I thank you for your time and your efforts. I do. But those are real concerns for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brazel. I am curious, did you have a mutiny or anything like that in Richland County when y'all did this?
We kind of had the same worries with Richland County, but it didn't. It didn't. We had just more people upset about not being able to use their larger trailers. But as far as people littering and leaving trash all over, I mean, everybody lives here. Nobody wants, people have property values. They don't want to put trash all over the street and disrupt the property value. So we had the same fears, but again, it didn't. Nothing happened to that effect.
Well, I feel comfortable knowing he's got it.
Mhm. Can you get Richland County to reverse their hours so we can dump over in their recycling?
I don't think they'll do it.
Thank you, council members, and thank you for the presentation. Mr. Administrator, anything else?
No, sir, that's all.
All right, no votes required.
you.
Thank you very much. That concludes item number, was that 10C?
Yes.
And then we already took care of 10D and 10E. We have removed 11A. That brings us to council member briefings. And I was just going to mention, it was great to see our clerk, Ginger Farmer, Judge Branham, and I don't know if I can be presumptuous, and I think it's Councilman-elect Proctor, because you're unopposed in November, by the
Councilman-elect
way.
will be after November.
Yeah,
the general.
I didn't know if I was being presumptuous,
Soon to
but
be
either way,
elect.
it's great to have the primary winner in here who is currently unopposed. Thanks for attending the meetings and checking in on the issues and the details. Mr. Cato, any briefing for us?
Got just a few comments tonight. First of all, I want to announce the ribbon cuttings and long-awaited ribbon cuttings on June the 30th. We will start at 10 a.m. in Boyd Young in Westville, and we will cut the ribbon for the new ballparks there. And then we will travel over to Bethune, and at 11:15, we will have the ribbon cuttings at the Copeland Field for those two ball fields as well. Very proud of these ball fields. They look awesome. It took us a little bit longer than we anticipated, but I'm very proud of them. And I ask that you please come out for these ribbon cuttings if you will, and if you're available. Tonight was a very tense night, I guess you would say, but I appreciate the people coming out to voice their opinion, but I also appreciate the way they did it. They came up, they used their time, they spoke properly, and they really handled themselves well, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure my colleagues do as well. We all, whether the vote goes your way or not, we all value your opinion. I have strong opinions about the project, and I feel very strongly about the area that I live in. But that's why the council's made up of 7 and not just 1. So I want to thank all those people that come out tonight and spoke. That ends my briefing.
Thank you, Mr. Cato. Mr. Tomlinson.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Tomlinson. Mr. Jones.
Yes, have I told y'all that my wife is expecting we're gonna have another?
No, the stand-up comedy hour will be later.
I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I just thought I'd make sure everybody's awake. I'd be swinging from the rafters upside down if that was true. Listen, I want to welcome soon-to-be Councilman-elect Jonathan Proctor, and I want to make sure I said to all of y'all, and I'm going to say it to the public as well. I invite him. I'm glad to see him sitting out there. I want him to be involved in every single thing that we can legally let him do. I don't want Mr. FOI there to get on us, like Sammy does as well too. But seriously, I think he needs to be involved in every single thing we can. I want this to be, Jonathan, the most smoothest transition that there is, positive. And I'm very proud of you, by the way, too. You bugged me for 5 years. But because unlike myself, I know what it was not to have been able to get any information until maybe the month before when I was elected 20 years ago. But I'm so appreciative of him being here, and I'm so appreciative of this council willing to, and the administrator, work with him to make sure that we keep him involved and in the loop as we move forward. And let me say this too. I don't agree with these guys a lot, but I think tonight, talking about the budget, the first time in 10 years, Well, you know what, though? We went through the nuts and bolts of it. The Finance Committee did a good job. You made me feel secure that the money's there for the pecan orchard. You made me feel secure on the other issues that were at hand. The ambulance service is important to all of us, and I know that. And I feel sure that, especially with Councilman Cato, Councilman Brazel's leadership, as far as that being areas they're concerned about, which we all are, that will be resolved in some way, fashion, or whatever. But anyway, having said that, thank you, and that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.
And please, that was not true, the first part.
Mr. Shoemake, you're recognized.
Indeed. To piggyback on what Councilman Cato said, on July 10th at 10 a.m., we'll be doing the ribbon cutting at KC West for the improvements there. So again, excited to usher in these, what have been the greatest recreation improvements in the county's history that has seen, I hope, which will be soon to followed by the greatest economic development project in the county's history. So just wanted to say that. I want to thank the Humane Society. We lost our little furry friend yesterday, and
So
but
sorry.
yeah, but they do a great job out there. So we appreciate all that they did. But yeah, so speaking of people that love dogs, also I think most everyone knows now we lost Jeff Maddox, and I don't think Jeff and I agreed on anything other than that we both loved Kershaw County. But we would text occasionally, and he is a man who is consistent in his principles, and I wish his family well through this period of mourning, and wish him well in heaven, because I know he was a faith-based man by and large, although, he'd waffle on that, but I think he found it in the end. And lastly, with Jimmy, I just wanted to say, 20 years of doing this is a pretty amazing thing. I almost resigned during the solid waste presentation 5 minutes ago. So I can't imagine what 20 years doing this is like. So again, this is your last budget. I know we got several months with you, but that's the single most important thing we do every year is clearly the budget. So congrats on your 20th budget, my friend. And again, on your work in the several months you have here to come. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemake. Mr. Tucker.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and colleagues. My last thank you. I am also very grateful for this council being a unanimous vote. Like I said, it hadn't happened in over a decade, so I appreciate our colleagues' support. Can't say enough good things about staff, and I'm looking forward to getting an early start after we get through the holidays, and that way we can be ahead of the curve come January. I was sorry to hear about Jeff Maddox's death as well, and I gonna miss the puppets. I think he thought I was his number one character. That guy made a puppet of me.
Yours
about
just stood out.
Well, thank you, Councilman John.
It did.
Like I stand out. So with that being said, I'm deeply saddened about his demise, and I hope that his family and loved ones are able to mourn properly and heal. So thanks. This took longer than I thought, but good discussion. Staff, I can't tell you thank you enough for some of the administrative things that you've done in this budget that needed to be. And I would ask you, as we're dealing with these recycle centers, if something's not working, don't be afraid to make the adjustments. But I think it's worth a try, and you got to put yourself out there and see what works and what doesn't work. So thank you, Mr. Templer. With that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Mr. Brazel.
I'll be brief. I really appreciate the conversation and the forward motion on EMS. That was something that was really bugging me for the last few days. Is how do we fix this? How do we keep moving forward in the right direction? And I'll be honest with you, Sunday night I didn't fall asleep at 2 a.m. and that's how much it has bothered me. So
It'd be up to
it's people think we might not take our job seriously, but I can assure you, I think everybody up here does. I was thankful to be able to agree with my colleagues tonight on the budget. I'm not thrilled with reassessment. It's something that the state mandates. I'd like to see more work done for seniors in the homestead exemption area. I would continue to advocate for that. I'm going to continue to advocate for that wherever I sit or stand. On or off council, in or out of politics. I'm going to continue to advocate for seniors being able to keep their homes and live in their homes without having to pay property taxes on their primary residences. I think that's obtainable. I think it's feasible, and I think it's something that we need to fight for. I'd like to thank Councilman Jones. This is our last budget together. Councilman Jones has certainly whipped many of us into shape with his black belt politics over the years. We've grown to be great friends through many adverse nights here on this council. And Jimmy, I want to just say, man, I care about you and I love you and your family.
Same here. Back at you.
And it's been a pleasure. You are a tough guy on this dais, and nobody fights harder or loves more than Jimmy has over the years. So 20 years well done. And I know we've got a few more meetings, but typically after budget, it starts to kind of slow down. To all of my fellow colleagues, I know there's always some angst about topics, Danny, just as you mentioned. I'm glad that we're able to get through these things together and do it with civility. So, and awful proud of my wife presenting tonight. She did a great job. So, thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Brazel. Two primary things I'd like to share. First, we had a death up at Lake Wateree. This was a member of the Armed Services, a Shaw Air Force airman, 23-year-old Carlin Haley from Los Angeles passed away in a drowning incident up at the lake recently. And so we pray for his family and share deep condolences. And it just reminds us again of the importance of some of the swimming programs we've been talking about. I hope the school district or otherwise can incorporate some of that into their curriculum, or parents will take it very seriously to have their children. I think the most effective data is second and third graders and really learn how to swim. That's the age when they're exposed the most to pools, or it's at least the second highest cause of death. And once you learn how to swim, it's like riding a bike, hopefully, and you can retain that for the rest of your life. And again, it's just a sad event. On a different note, I want to say that the projects that we're doing for ribbon cuttings and have a lot of excitement for, those are the same types of things that some of this FELO money can go to help in the future. And I encourage everyone to get behind and support those projects in the future. It makes it much easier to direct funds to various areas if we've got the support there to make these projects happen. It's either that or we have to figure out some other way through a fee or increase taxes or maybe grant applications if we get lucky and fortunate where a grant actually aligns with some of our goals and we can land those funds. But FELO revenue really does make a difference. And as you know, I've dedicated my life for this past term and the term I anticipate coming up to generating business interests in Kershaw County, having good relationships with the governor's office, with the Department of Commerce, and stakeholders to bring either jobs or significant economic development to Kershaw County, because it makes a difference. It really does. These are dollars that we do not have to raise taxes on generally, that we can spend in the county, and they also get allotted to other entities that generally really need them. That's all I have for my report. Mr. Administrator, any briefing for us?
Just one quick note on the up-and-coming holiday as it relates to scheduling. Our Kershaw County government offices will be closing on Friday to observe July 4th, which actually falls on Saturday. So the landfills and convenience centers will be open on Friday, but they will close on the actual holiday. So that's all I have. Thank
Will
you.
they be open?
They will be open July 3rd.
They won't be closed 3 consecutive days.
No.
And if you would,
Sorry, I just
since,
need to make sure.
since you're talking about scheduling, if for the next agenda, if we could place on summer scheduling as a new business item, I mean, we'll discuss it, we may vote on it, but like this time and also towards the end of the year, we usually see if there's any meetings that we need to either reschedule, postpone, or just cancel based on some summer travel plans coming up. And that's, again, just this time of year, we talk about that. If you could place it on the agenda, Ms. Hannah.
Mr. Chair, I had a question for the administrator.
Yes, sir.
On these new hours, have we did any type of campaign publicizing ahead of time, or will that start tomorrow? Because I think the educational piece is so important moving forward for the citizens to get adapted and ask questions and, address their concerns. So if we haven't done anything, I would highly recommend that we do a hard hit before July 1 if possible, Mr. Templer, so we can try to eliminate as much concerns and worries as possible.
We intend to do a campaign to educate.
Yes, sir. And even though we're starting in July, it probably still needs to continue. We're not telling you how you do your job, but
Sure.
you know where I'm going with that. And Mr. Chair, also, I don't know, because my ears are getting old, but Miss Susan, our former mayor from Bethune, I don't know if she was included in your recognition of folks.
I was just thinking the same thing.
But she has sat through this whole campaign here from council, and I think
That's
she
true.
deserves to be
Thank you.
recognized.
Thank you for being here,
I was
Susan.
thinking the same thing, Susan. Don't give him all the credit.
Welcome.
I've got campaign exhaustion.
Right? How about this one?
Yeah.
You ain't the only one, y'all. Nobody working harder than I am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anything else for the administrator?
That's all I have.
Any non-privileged legal briefing? And we've removed item number 15A previously under the agenda. Seek a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a second. Any discussion on adjournment? Seeing none, all in favor?